I don't bother with NBA Twitter because I don't know anything about it. I really don't. I'm on NBA. I'm on Twitter, and I follow Woj, I follow Shams, and NBA Central. I think, and for football season, I follow Shefty too.
Yeah, I feel like that's the basic tool set to like actually stay up to date. The rest is just garbage at this point.
Right.
But you're on everything though, aren't you? You've got it all.
I'm not very engaged when it comes to Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. Like I'm like you. I follow certain people to get like news and stuff.
Right.
And then I'm on IG.
Right.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know why people follow me on IG, to be honest.
I do not have an Instagram account. No, I do not.
Yeah. That's if you guys follow Jay, it's a fake one.
I am not. Just so you guys know, I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Snapchat. I am on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, which I don't post anything ever on Twitter. I don't ever post anything on Twitter. I'm on there strictly to follow people. I'm on TikTok and I'm on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah.
So I've got like 30,000 plus people who follow me on Instagram, and I don't feel like I post other people's stuff to be funny. Like I do memes and stuff.
Yeah.
I do ask questions on there. But really I have it, but really I use TikTok and then this, like that's and on the radio, right? So I don't. Right. Yeah, so I'm really just on TikTok, Twitter, and IG. I guess technically I have a Facebook page, but that's from like 1937.
Mine is from like 1948.
Yeah, a picture of me. I'm all clean shaven. You know, like I'm 20 years old.
The best. No, that's good. Jay, I saw those people you posted like a Facebook thing. I don't even think it was your Facebook, but you posted like something from Facebook on TikTok and people were roasting you.
Of course, it was about, my man actually sent it to me. It was about Havlicek and Jordan.
That's what it was about. That was the one.
It was about Havlicek and Jordan. And he sent that to me. And I posted it on TikTok to let people know this is why you can't go strictly off numbers. Because if you go off numbers, Havlicek was just as good as Jordan.
And exactly.
Well, wait a minute. That's not true.
If you go off certain numbers, yes.
Right.
With no context, yes.
If you just go off numbers, then, and we're gonna get into that tonight too, by the way.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna get into that. So, but I've heard some like scrolling through Twitter and like NBA Central. Because like I said, what I don't do, like you just said, I do not go down that rabbit hole of Twitter because it's a dark hole.
It's
ugly. And I don't go down there. No, I don't. I'm already on the hook with TikTok and YouTube. I'm already on the hook with that. And
you do YouTube. That's good. I feel like YouTube is like the best. Like you're gonna get paid more. I feel like if they like people are on YouTube, if they like you, they're not about to watch like 8 minutes of you if they don't like mess with you, right? So that's dope. Yeah, I'm just now getting into Twitter. And it's scary, but I do like it. Everything has its pros and cons, but yeah.
No, Twitter's a nasty place. It's not as bad as the Discord, but yes, Twitter is a nasty.
I don't even know what the Discord is, and to be honest with you, Tone, I'm not sure I want to know what the Discord
I don't think you want to know. So like,
these
players choice guys were like, you got to join the Discord. We're all on there talking on the Discord. I'm like, all right, cool. So I downloaded it. I went on. And it's like 8,000 messages coming at you. There's no way you can even read them.
Right.
And like every, you're like, oh, Fluent's on here. And then like 50 people just talking shit. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have time to read all this stuff. I said, I can't. I'm out.
I think Mars runs that Discord. I think that's his like sweet spot, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because he's 7 years old and he's still capable of
just
reading.
Turned 10, Tone. So
is it 10? No, not bad.
He just turned 10, so be careful.
Mars, Stat Mars. He could keep up with all that stuff. It was just like
I've heard some really with the YouTube and with the TikTok. I've heard some goofy logic in my days, man, being on there. Tone, you've dealt with the trolls. You've dealt with the trolls too. I actually had a conversation with a guy who said to me, and I tried to. They ended up cutting it out when I was on ESPN. He asked me what was my worst take, and I said Kawhi Leonard and Kawhi Leonard's 18-19 season was overrated. When I heard that, I wanted to crash my car into a telephone pole. When I heard that, I was like, "Are you drunk?" You might. Yeah. You must be out of
It's
your
always
mind.
the dudes with no profile pic too.
Right.
It's always the dudes.
That
or
one.
ladies.
Those are those Russian bots, dude, just trying to cause controversy because I'm sure of this one. There was a picture of Scottie Pippen. And at the top it said the real GOAT. Pippen was never swept 2 years in a row in the first round like that overrated bum Jordan.
Oh.
And I went,
which is not true.
And I said, hold on, did Portland not happen? And people were fighting me. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, 2001, 02, the Trailblazers first round.
I was at game 3 in Portland.
You were
really?
I was at game 3.
I was very aware because it was to the Lakers 2 years in a row. They got swept, and that was actually a much better team. And I just went, so he did. Yep. Well, that doesn't count. He was old. I'm like, well, hold on now. You said it never happened. Now it doesn't count because he was old.
You actually entertain that goofy logic.
I do.
You do.
I can't do it, Tone. I had a dude tell me that James Worthy would be a great 6th man in today's game. I was out. I didn't even entertain that. I was like, nope, absolutely not. You're not gonna suck me down that rabbit hole. That's what they want,
though. Like Fluent, you have a special gift. I feel like dealing with it and like respect. Yeah, I just either get annoyed or I just ignore it.
No, I love it. Here, let me read this to you. This one brought a huge smile to my face. I actually really liked it. This is in reference to me. These old heads, that's me, hanging on MJ's jock strap are so funny. Laughing face. Imagine being 56 and making a TikTok account defending MJ at every turn.
Why the specific age?
Yeah, and I was like, and I said, and that's awesome. So here's a guy who's user 89658931025536 with a picture of a little kitten. I was going to say a different word with a kitten, and I'm like, and so of course I'm like, am I going to just let that go? No, I'm gonna respond to that comment, and I'm like, imagine being a 21-year-old living in your mom's basement with a picture of his cat as his profile picture, worried about what some old guy is doing with his free time.
Which is probably really that's probably what's really going on.
100%.
You know what? I never hear back from him again. Come on, let's keep going. This is fun.
Dude, those
I had to make him 21 because if I did him any younger, I'd get in trouble for picking on kids that were underage.
Right, and you don't want to do that.
You know about me being, I got a warning. Like I got the red warning that my account is in jeopardy on TikTok. Did I tell you?
Oh no, for what? Bullying? Oh, Canada? Canada's kicked. It's Canada, right?
No.
Is it Canada, Tone? It's you foreigners. That's what it is. You foreigners, Tone. Y'all get out of line, and immediately what happens is you're going to screw it up for everybody.
I am a dual citizen. I am.
Wait, really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I lived for like 11 years. I got my green card and everything.
We cannot call INS on Tone. Tone
The green card is not green, by the way. It's called your permanent residency card, and it is not green. I think I have it over here somewhere. But anyways, that being said, no, there's this. I'm gonna say it because I can't. I can't. It's not on TikTok, so this is a forum where I can actually say
it. Tone.
Yeah, let it out.
This dude, Jeffrey Marsh. With a beard, lipstick, makeup, and a dress. Cool. I'm fine with you doing that. Says he's non-binary. Cool. Wants to be they, them. No problem. So far, I have no issues with you. Comes out with 5, 6, 7 posts in a row. Hey, kids, come join me on my private Patreon for $4 a month. But shh, don't tell your parents. So that we can talk about how to get away from them because they've screwed up your life. And I'm like, whoa. If that was a dude,
I'm out.
If that was a priest,
I'm out.
We're calling to call a predator or to catch a predator, whatever that show is called, right?
I love that.
And again, I left it because I love this about everyone who follows me. I do love this. They send me stuff, not just sports, and they say, hey, make them more fluent. Because I've done finance, I've done auto, I've done marketing. So I've done, but it's, when I do like something about those things, there's not a lot of views. So I stick to sports. But occasionally something strikes me and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So someone sent me this one, and the person says, "Hey, the same dude, Jeffrey Marsh, says, you know, I'm so proud of myself. I did this tampon commercial. Plate text plant, I don't know, whatever. One of those companies paid me. I'm like, at first I'm like, cool. I don't know why sent that to me. I'm like, that's maybe because of the Tiger Woods thing at the golf tournament last week. Like maybe that's right. I don't know if you know that story, right?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. So Tiger Woods outdrove someone off the tee and slipped him a tampon to basically say you're a B. I hit it farther than you. So anyway, so I was like, okay, so far good for him. He got paid. Awesome. Well, then he goes on and he goes, but of course I don't menstruate because I'm non-binary, kids. And I'm like, no, kids, you didn't menstruate because you were born a dude. And I said, and now you're more fluent. And that's all I said. Banned. Like instantly banned, red flag. So then the same person says, oh, that was so weird. Why did that post get taken down? I said, I don't know. Because I did almost the exact same post and it's still up. And I'm like, in the comments, I say, that's crazy. I did almost the exact same post and mine got banned for saying this. My comment, first time ever, my comment got banned and I got slapped with you're at risk of losing your account.
You gotta be careful.
No, you know what?
TikTok is not the place to have.
You gotta be really careful. You gotta be really careful.
It's one way. That's it.
I thought I was being pretty light. Like I was not mean or I was very respectful.
That's what
I'm just thinking too. You know what? If they ban me, they ban me. I'll just come up with another account and say LeBron's the GOAT, and I'll have like 10 times the amount of followers.
There you go.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in, but
oh man,
hopefully,
love that place.
I've been in TikTok jail a couple times. Tone is actually.
I remember your lives. Yeah.
I've been in jail. I've been in jail TikTok jail a couple times. Yes, sir, I have. Tone has made videos. My man getting back out, so y'all better be ready.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. That was last year. That was tough. Yeah. You had to create a separate account, and I was telling everybody, get his separate account up to 1,000, so because we couldn't do our lives like how we do our Monday night lives. We were doing them consistently back then. Yeah. And we couldn't do that.
Crazy. Yeah, I got banned one time for bullying, like not that long ago, like 4 months ago.
I can see that.
For the Suns. Yeah, I was talking about the Suns and people, I guess, reported it. So, all right, you guys. What's up, chat? How are y'all tonight? We have a bunch of stuff to get into. We're gonna start with some with the start bench cut. Okay, there's been so much talk. Obviously, we're
wait. You got something else, don't you?
Yeah, I guess I should do that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, actually, for all of you, we want to shout out all of the members on Players Choice YouTube channel. Honestly, you guys are the best. Thank you all for your support. And I just want to let you know we've recently updated our YouTube membership offerings, so make sure you check them out if you have not already. And we also want to shout out King J. He is the only GOAT member you can add.
He is the first
and so far the only
numero uno
GOAT member on Players Choice. So big shout out to him. He has been awesome across the board. And yeah, we want to keep building the community. I mean, it's growing so fast. So of course we want to remember our day ones, our day twos, and even those of you that are new. So definitely start getting in on that. Fluent, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, hey, this is the only GOAT we can all agree on.
There you go.
But I want to give out a special shout out too. That's amazing. Become a GOAT member today. But let's give out a shout. I don't know if this is really the GOAT. This is more like the cow. If you're on Instagram and you don't follow Dab the Cow is at the UFC event. Dab the Cow right there. Dab the Cow goes to every event. Dab the Cow is at the Super Bowl. Dab the Cow is at the Masters if you watch golf, at the Stanley Cup playoffs, at the NBA Finals. Dab the Cow is at the Olympics. Dab the Cow is at every major sporting event. It is my brother who works for ESPN, and he goes to every game.
That's
and
your
Dab
brother?
the Cow, yeah. And Dab the Cow is he takes a picture of the cow at all these, like at the floor of all these events, like at the national title game was down at the 50-yard line. And it's a symbol to his daughter, my niece, to say, hey, although we're not together, I'm thinking of you. So I think it's super sweet, but it's also like you could see how close he is, like on all these. If you go back and look, like there's, I'm trying to think of here. Here is at the national. Here's Dab at the national title game. Shout out to Georgia. No, who won? Georgia won this year. Yeah, Georgia won this year.
Yes, they did.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a little thing. It's kind of nice.
Smoke TCU.
Yeah. Wait, is it DAV? DAV or DAB?
DAB. Yeah, dab.
Dab.
Dab
like
the
dab.
cow. Yeah. DAB the cow. Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
All right. So, star bench cut. The NBA has been going through some turmoil. A lot of people, starting with the All-Star event, and then now we're seeing dudes getting injured or missing a ton of time. There's just a lot going on with the league, and people love to say, well, the NBA is soft now. So start, bench, cut, these 3 things that you think would make the league better in whatever order of importance you think. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So load management, encouraging and enforcing defense again, or allowing more physicality.
Mm-hmm.
In that order, which do you think could kind of change the trajectory of the league?
So,
can I pick none of them?
No, do it in like importance to least importance.
Okay.
Well, you could buy something. So if you want to buy something that you think would be like more important than all of those, add that in.
Okay.
I can't encourage defense because that's a coach's job, and the majority of the coaches, they make less than the players, so it's difficult for them to encourage defense.
I guess I mean, if it was instantly implemented, I would like to
see guys play more defense. I would love to see that. Absolutely, no doubt about that. I would love to see that. But
can you give me the options again? It's load management, force them to play defense,
or physicality, allowing more physicality without them calling the whistle every 0.5 seconds.
Okay.
Well,
or you can buy something.
I want to start physicality, to be honest with you. And the reason why I want to start physicality is because, God, I think that would be a trickle-down effect to everything, Tone. Well, what I mean when I say that is, number 1, guys will have to play through the whistle. Number 2, guys getting beat on. You know what that means? That means that they got to play more. Yeah. That means that they got to play through being sore. They have to play through being injured. You guys make a lot of money. And a lot of these guys aren't that beat up that they can't play. There's a difference between being sick and not feeling well. Those 2 things are not the same thing. And these guys a lot of times miss work because they don't feel good, not because they're sick, because they don't feel good. So I'd like to bring physicality back. I think that that's at the top of the list because I think that would be a trickle-down effect to everything. Load management, I do want to bench that. And the reason why I want to bench load management is because the owners are to blame for this. This isn't something that just the players are just deciding to sit out. The owners have something to do with this too. They're encouraging this, but it's gotten out of hand. And because it's gotten out of hand, now they want to do something about it. Well, they're going to have an opportunity to do something about it in a couple of years, but this is of their own doing. So if I have to choose between the 2 of those, that and defense, I mean, I can't make you play defense. I think players make more money than coaches. So more times than not, a player is going to get a coach fired more than a coach is going to get a player cut. So especially a star player who we want to see play more defense. So I'm starting physicality, I'm benching load management, and I'm cutting seeing guys play more defense.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to buy one at the end, but first, because it's
you're going to buy your starting.
I'm going to do the full start, bench, cut, but I'm going to buy a 4th thing because on my show today, on my Canadian channel on Fired Up Network that I do, in our basketball show, and this same topic came up, and we had a completely different answer. So I'll give you that one in a second. So let me start with these 3. So first, I'm doing the same thing. I'm starting bringing back physicality. I'm bringing back physicality because physicality will inherently bring back defense. So I'm going to start I'm starting physicality. I'm benching defense. And here's what I mean. When they change the rules to kind of allow the skilled players to do what they do and make it more entertaining, which it has been. Let's be very clear. We've been able to, the bruisers, the enforcers are out of the game, and there's way more skilled players in the game now that can just do whatever they want.
Freedom of movement era is what we call it.
Freedom of movement era, exactly. So they are allowed to do what they want. So when you do that, and the expansion right? I have the numbers here somewhere, actually. If you look at the 3-point shot, when it came into the league, they were shooting approximately, they went from 2 to a high of 10 in the 80s. Then they went from that to, where did it go? I had it here somewhere. Oh, yeah, to 2 to 6, excuse me, in the 80s. Then it went 6 to 13 in the 90s.
6 to what, Tone? 6 to 13 what?
6 attempts to
on
13.
Long balls.
On 3 balls, okay?
On the long
so
balls,
in the 80s, it went from 2 when it was introduced to 6. In the 90s, 6 to 13. Now there's that couple years with the shortened line where that went up to 16, but it went, when we include regular, it's 6 to 13. In the 2000s, 3-point shot went from 14 to 18. So you can see a growth throughout the decade of about 4 shots. 2 to 6, 6 to 13. Okay, that's a little bit more. That's 7 or 8. 14 to 18. But again, that was part of it because of the shortened line. 14 to 18 in the early 2000s. So only up by 4. In the 2010s, it has gone from 18 to 35. The 3-ball has almost doubled. So the reason I bring that up is you take the rules in place where there's less, you're forced to play less physical. You now spread out the game to where there's 36 3-pointer shot per game, and when they're not shooting them right from the line, they're shooting them from the logo. There's efficiently like 2% higher than they were, so they're shooting them really good from farther out. So now when you create a situation where skilled players have the freedom of movement, the 3-ball is better than it's ever been from further than it's ever been. It's almost impossible to play really good defense because I can't touch them. I can't get close to them. So what do? I stop trying. I get in better position. I do the best that I can, and I worry about trying to outscore them. That's why we see teams like Dallas that are like, forget our defensive players, ship them all off. Let's bring in these offensive guys and just try to outscore guys. So I think that's why I'm starting physicality, because if you're allowed to get up on them, if you're allowed to touch them, put a hand on them, make it more difficult, it makes everything harder. And that in turn will make them able to play defense. And once you're allowed to play defense, well, I think then, because my biggest thing is I don't see effort. Well, now the effort comes back too, because now I actually can play and I'm going to see the benefits. They're not just going to call a foul on me. And then I'm cutting the shit out of load management because that's just ridiculous. So I'm cutting that. So
that's fair. Yeah, that is fair. That's fair. But because when I think about,
if every time I touched you it was a foul, I'm like, forget it, I'm not even going to try anymore.
Right.
Dude, that's where we're at, I think.
I'm going to play shadow defense, and then I'm going to try and outscore you, which is great for me because I hated defense and I love scoring. So it would have been perfect. This is my era.
Which getting out. I want to make sure that I'm clear when I say that because you're being physical does not enforce defense. Being physical does not mean you playing defense.
But I'm saying if you're allowed to be a little bit physical, it's easier to play defense when you can touch someone versus when you can't.
But with being physical, what it also does with the offensive player, I got to change my game because now I got to play through contact. And in order to play, in order to be more efficient, playing through contact means that instead of me going to the basket as much as I do, I got to prepare to get hit. So instead of me going to the basket, I'm going to stop at the mid-range point. I'm going to stop in the mid-post. And I might not shoot the long ball as much. And the reason why I might not shoot the long ball as much is because I'm getting beat on. I'm getting pushed. I'm getting hands put on me. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to make sure that we clear when I say, H, that this isn't wrestling or anything like that. But if as a defender, I should be able to put hands on you. Right. And not in a situation where it's gonna hurt you, but I should be able to put hands on you to slow you down. That's just the way defense works. I can't just let you run around here and just run off screens and do whatever you want. Tony and I were just having this conversation. There was a time where you came off a screen and I could check you. I can't do that anymore. That's a foul now. And when you rerouting somebody off screens, when you're rerouting a guy off a screen, now that makes his degree of difficulty in terms of shooting. Now it throws him off of his rhythm. So now you got to change your game. I got to be prepared for that hit now. And in the process of me being prepared for that hit, I might not go all the way to the 3-point line. I might stop at the mid-range line. Stuff like that matters. But it doesn't. But also with being more physical, again, Tony, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm playing defense, but it does help my defense.
That's
physicality
that's exactly what I'm saying.
It does help my defense.
And listen, I get it. Like let's be honest. This was all created. If you look at every rule change, it was It was for money, right? The CBS was paying the NBA $1.5 million a year for basketball rights in the 80s. No one was watching. In 1990, NBC went and said, hey, clean up the game a bit because it's become more popular, but clean it up again because the fighting, the hard fouls, we got to get rid of it. And stars like Jordan and others, people always blame it on Jordan, but it wasn't just him, but he was the face. Like, we got to put flagrant fouls in, no more clotheslining and that sort of stuff. And if you do that, if you do that, we're going to give you $600 million. Yep, I'm doing it. Oh, yeah. If someone came to me and said $600 million, no more clotheslines,
we can figure this out.
We did.
Yeah, you clotheslining guys, you got to sit down. No,
what happened early 2000s? Their contract was coming up, and they said, hey, the best part of this game, we've been seeing a decline in offense every single year. Let's make some changes. We want offense to kick back up again. So they made some rule changes. How did they get rewarded for those rule changes that allowed, and let's be clear, this was for the betterment of the game. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm telling you, today's game is the best. But it was, hey, make these changes. What did they get out of it? NBC offered to double their $600 million and go to $1.4 billion or $1.6 billion. ABC, ESPN swooped in. We'll give you $2.4 billion. Yeah, no problem.
We can't compete with that. Yeah,
here you go.
No more hand checking. Get that out of here. That's done.
I won't play defense and let you score every possession for $2.4 billion. But now it's gotten too far. So let me just go back, because I said we had mentioned on the Fired Up Network today when we were having this conversation, because as you know, I coach youth basketball. The person that one of the co-hosts on that show, Drew Ebanks, who is the head of On Point Basketball, which basically travels all around Canada, and they do like a bunch of stuff for all like youth basketball in Canada. They're on point. They're amazing. He said the problem is this, and I never thought of it before. The young players are playing too much. They're playing too much basketball. So if you go back,
I saw that tweet.
They were playing about 20 or 30 games a year. They would then go to college and play about 40 games a year, and then NBA 80. There are players now who play their, like whatever team they're on. Then they play these tournaments. Then they have AAU in the summer. They're playing over 100. They're playing more games plus practices than an NBA player, and you're starting to see this is medically proven. So you can shake your head all you want, but they're playing so much, and they're getting these little injuries and tears at a younger age, and it's weakening them for later on. Here's the other part: they're not playing other sports, and if you look at most of the players who are had really good longevity and strength and not a lot of injuries, they play other sports because other sports work different muscles. Like if you go play basketball and then go play baseball and then go play whatever, you'll feel like, oh, I felt like I had a real workout when I played baseball. And you're like, why? Well, because it's different muscles. You look at a guy like LeBron, played basketball, played football. You look like, you see guys that with those, not all the time, there's always exceptions.
Right.
But if they play other sports, it works different muscles that their sport doesn't. And it actually, they say, helps gives their other muscles those opportunities. I'm not a doctor, so I'm speaking in layman's terms, but it gives their others opportunity to heal, and it's not too far. So
like fast twitch muscles and things like that. I mean, Derek Jeter played basketball and baseball in high school. I get that. Yeah. Bo Jackson, he ran track and he was on a football team. Right. I get with all of that. However, when you are pursuing something, it's hard. So miss me with the logic of, these guys are playing too much. Give me a break. When you're trying to pursue something, it's difficult. And when you're putting your body through something, it's going to be hard. So if I'm in high school and we play 30 games, right? And in the off season, when the high school season is over, now what I'm doing is I'm playing, I guess, AAU travel. Well, we also are practicing and playing pickup, which is basically the equivalent to playing games because we're going at it. Now, I can appreciate that these guys, it's medically proven that they're wearing down. Quit then. That's how we get to the bottom of that. Quit. Because when I think about basketball, basketball is a year-round sport. Basketball isn't a sport that you only play 3, 4, 5 months. No, basketball is a year-round sport. You can play it outside. You can play it indoors. You can play it anywhere. And the only way that you get better at it is by continuously playing. The idea that these guys are wearing their bodies down. I'm trying to imagine being 15 years old wearing down my body. I'm trying to imagine being 18.
No, but you're looking at it very like through
long term.
Through a pinhole at if I'm 14. No, but think about this. Use Giannis as an example. Didn't pick up basketball till later, right?
Right.
He's fresh and invigorated to play. Right. But another guy who started playing when they were 10 and played 50 games to 100 games a year for 10 years before they made the NBA, their body has gone through so much that the likelihood that they're going to be able to go through an 82 game season at the pro level and not miss a game, it's rare that you can.
And even if let's just say for the sake of argument that's true, Tony. Okay, I can't go through an 82 game season, but damn, can I play 70 games? Can I play 3/4 of the season? Is that fair? Yeah. I mean, you played 3/4 of the season.
Would you rather have 80 games in the NBA and reduce your high school schedule from 100 to 75, or would you rather play 100 all through high school and only be able to play 50, 60 in the NBA?
Like 100 games in high games. That sounds nuts to me. That does.
Yeah, why is that even a trade-off?
Right.
On Point has the data. Right. That's why I said. And so they're playing upwards of 100 games.
How are you
tailored to the individual, how you take care of your body. Are you taking you can load manage if you
high school kids taking care of their body as well as they should be?
No, I'm talking more after high school. Like once you're in college, if you're taking all these deals or all the an NIL deal, all these things are like coming on. You're playing through the summer. Like you have to know what's too much and too little, and you should have people in your court to like help you figure that journey out. So there are dudes who played all through college. Like I don't know. I just don't know.
No, you're right, H, because if you're playing that much, you are now invested in this. And if I'm invested in this, that means that my body is what I'm invested in. And I got to take care of my body. Now, Tone, I can appreciate the logic that, when I'm 25, I probably won't be able to run as fast because I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. But I mean, if you're playing 100 games, why are we playing that much? Now, don't get me wrong. My senior year,
once you get that, it sounds like a lot, right?
But it sounds nuts. I'm trying to figure out how,
like you said, pickup games, like it's a lot of basketball, and those micro tears start to.
And I do think you're right, Fluent. Like there is more going on now than ever before because of all the various like outlets you can play for, go do games and get your clout and all these things from such a young age, even high school, right? So I do see that.
I understand that when you are that age, when you 16, 17, 18 years old, you want to be everywhere. Wherever the game is, you want to be there and you want to play.
Of course.
I understand that part.
It's on us.
Right.
That's our job as adults, is to make sure that we're putting people in a position to have longevity. And what we're doing instead is let's because when you were 17, 18, did someone stop you from playing?
No, in fact, it was encouraged.
Dude, you're staying up all night. You're eating crap, and you're playing.
That's why I had such a difficult time with it, Tone. I mean, and you got
effects. We don't think of the long-term effects.
You got AAUs now, right? You got these kids playing high school basketball, and then after high school, they play AAUs. So we didn't have AAUs 35 years. Well, we had AAUs, but it was more it wasn't as big of it was basketball camp. It was 5-star. It was AB. CD. It was camps like that, but we still
struggle with the alphabet.
I don't know why I did. To be honest with you, I'm thinking about it right now. Like, wait a minute, can I say the alphabet? A, B, C, D. That's what it is. Okay, I'm good now. Yeah, I'm good now. But basketball was played the entire summer. There was no in between. And the reason why basketball was played the entire summer is because I got to get better for next year. So when the high school basketball season starts, I'm ready for that. Now, to play a 30 game, we had a 33 game season, right? Now you're telling me I got to play another 60 games after that? Now, does that include pickup games? Because we're doing that all summer. We're doing that all spring.
No, they do these tournaments. So the big thing was, On Point was making a complaint, really. He said, look, we do these three-day tournaments, but we don't let anybody play more than like 4 games. Right. Whereas you have these tournaments, like I'll tell you, my youth team, there was a tournament, we played 6 games, 1 on the Friday night, and then 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Yeah.
For kids under 12 years old, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
It's a lot, and with only like an hour and a half in between games, and you don't think that's a lot, but it is. They're diving all over the place. They're crazy. So that's. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I think. I know it's a start bench cut, but it's important to just the parents to understand. Like, one, let your kids play multiple sports because it's good for them. And then 2, just be careful. 100 games is a lot.
That's a lot, yo. That is a lot. Again, I'm thinking about it, Tone, from the aspect of getting better. Now, I'm not thinking about like once the high school basketball season is over, I got another 2 seasons that I'm going to play. I'm going to play for this AAU team, and we're going to play another 30 games, and then I'm going to play for this other team, and then we're going to play another 30 games. Like, wait a minute. There's a difference between the high school basketball season being over and in the springtime, we in the gym playing pickup, and in the spring and in the summer, the entire summer. That's all we doing. Yeah. As opposed to I'm going to camp and I'm playing 30 games this whole weekend in camp. Like, wait a minute, that sounds nuts. That doesn't sound correct.
I know we'll get to super chats and other stuff in a minute, but just because someone asked this question, I will address it. Okay, so Duncan or Jamal Duncan, I always have it's actually a pencil in my hand because I have a horrible memory, and if I don't write like little notes down, I'll forget to say what I want to say. That's why I always have a pen in my hand. I'm an old ass man.
Good life tip.
Yeah. As you get older, you're gonna want a pen or pencil in your hand too.
I thought if you have like ADHD or something, like just
that too.
I always mess
I need
with
to fidget. Yeah, I do need to fidget. That's true.
All right, let's move on to the Mavs because now they're on a.
I'm looking right
about
after
to lose to
Philly. They was up 20. They was up 20. They don't let Philly back in this game. Are you kidding me?
Because the Alice Mavericks have no D.
Unbelievable, Tone. Tone, they was up. They had Philly in the chokehold. They done let them back in this game.
Yeah, man, this is crazy, and that's exactly due to lack of defense. They probably can't get stops. Like this is no different than what we expected. But so. Aside from this game, we'll see what happens here. But they are currently 1-4 when Luka and Kyrie play together. Right now, obviously, they're 7th in the West. We'll see, how the next string of games go. But Jason Kidd actually went from saying, "I want to give Luka the answers to the test," to now saying, "I'm not the savior. I just watch like you guys do." Like we're seeing a whole attitude shift, momentum shift, like in the locker room. And of course the media is going to blow that up, obviously. But what are your guys' thoughts on just after seeing a little bit more of this duo? It's great offensively. Like if you need your buckets for sure, but now you're kind of seeing them hesitate, oh, Luka, you got this, or Kyrie, you got this. Like there's almost how is this going to work? And do you think it's going to, even pay off through the playoffs?
I wish we got to this before the fourth quarter started. I swear to you, I wrote it down. I was going to say they're up 20, but they're going to blow it. Yeah. They're going to blow it. And it looks like even if they don't blow it, it's going to be a lot closer than it should have been.
Oh, yeah.
I just, what are they, 0-4?
That's what I thought. I think they 0-4 since Irv got on the crew. Who have they beaten?
4, yeah. The Spurs, I think the Spurs, right?
They did beat the Spurs. That's correct.
You won a game against Spurs.
Against the Spurs.
So I think 3 of us, if we recruited like Shaq and Dell,
and we could beat them,
had Dub coming off the bench, we'd at least run for their money.
I think we might be able to give them
a run for their money. Yeah.
So Jason Kidd says, quote, "We need to grow up." Well, you say that about a young team. Irv, 11 years in the league. Luka, 5 years in the league. Luka of that rotation, he's the youngest one. Bullock, he's been in the league 8 years. Hardaway Jr., he's been in the league 8 years. JaVale McGee, he's been in the league 10 years. They got plenty of vets on this crew. So the logic that they need to grow up, that's not the case here. No way. This team has plenty of vets, and they know exactly how to win. The problem that we're having is the commitment isn't there. So if you're up 27, you should be able to make that lead stick. I understand how fast the game is in the NBA, and with the shot clock and with ball movement and how fast the game can be, you can cut a 20-point lead in half in less than 3 minutes. You can do that, absolutely. However, we just got finished talking about this. I have to be able to defend on some level. I don't think that's a maturity issue. That's a commitment issue. To get in the huddle and go, yo, these guys ain't scoring no more. We got to slow these guys down. That's not a maturity issue. That's a commitment issue. We've been in the league long enough to know how to handle situations like that. Now it's just a matter of committing to it. And Jason Kidd is right on some level that, yo, I'm watching just like you guys. However, Coach Kidd, you are the coach. And in the process of you being the coach, you are also the motivator. You are the minute man. And if I got a guy on the floor who's not getting it done, I got to get somebody else out here that's going to get it done. If he's not going to get it done, that's part of it. That's part of you being the motivator. That's part of you being the Minuteman. Chuck Daly was the master at that. Quote, I got to get the defense. And if you're not going to cover, then you got to come sit over here next to me. That's why Adrian Dantley ended up losing his job to Dennis Rodman for that specific reason, because Dennis is going to slow people down. Coach Kidd has to find some people on his bench who are going to commit to slowing people down, because in the Western Conference, more than any conference, because the Western Conference has always been a run and gun conference, at some point, you're not going to be able to outscore everybody, because you're going to run into a team that's got just as much firepower as you.
Well, Dallas hurt us. They're pumping FLUENT CHILL in the huddle because they just went up 122-108. They're like, we're going to show them.
Man,
we can outscore. And listen, it's fine. We can outscore anybody. Yeah, you can outscore anybody. That's what we're afraid of, is come playoff time, when the game slows down a little bit, can you? I don't know. Maybe you can.
Yeah, playoffs are so different. And they haven't had as much time to, build that chemistry. But we'll see.
I want that. I just want you to know, I want Dallas to be good.
Me too. I like Dallas
to be good. I want Dallas to knock out Phoenix. I want Kyrie to be happy and stay in Dallas and not go to the Lakers. I want them. There's so many reasons why I want Dallas to be good.
Well, come on, you wouldn't want Kyrie in LA?
No.
Really?
No. I want Kyrie to stay the hell out of LA. Okay. I want LeBron to be upset that he didn't come, that he goes to somewhere else to be with his son. You
understand why he's saying this, right? Because Tone's got an invest. Who does Tone follow? Who is his crew?
Oh,
yeah. So Tone is a Laker guy. He wants this thing. Yes. Tone wants this thing blown up.
I never
wanted for them to bring in something.
He wants this thing over.
Gone. I want LeBron gone. I don't want Kyrie there. No.
He wants this whole thing over.
Look, and that's not a slight on any of those players. They're all great players. For the next 10 years, we got to build. We screwed up, right? When Kobe was doing his farewell tour, all we cared about was Kobe's farewell tour, and we had a crappy team, and then we didn't make the playoffs forever until LeBron came, thankfully, and got us back into the playoffs and got us another chip. But at what cost? At a short-term fix again. This team is not like other teams. You need to get your stars, a young prime star player in there, build around them, and start winning championships for the next 10 years. Like that's the Lakers organization. And I'm scared that since Dr. Buzz passed, that's not where their head's at. Just think about it. Do you know that the payroll on the Warriors? No, sorry. Do you know that? Let me use a better example. LeBron James, their star player, has a higher net worth than the owner of the team. Do you know
that means I make more money than the person signing the checks here? I'm worth more than the person signing the checks here, which means I really don't need this job, just so you guys know.
Please correct me. Please in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this because I'm guessing, but please correct me. I believe LeBron James is the only player on a team whose net worth is more than the owner's net worth.
That's a fact, Tone. That's not your opinion. That is a fact. His net worth is higher than Jeannie Buss, which means I really don't need this job. I do not.
I just imagine you work at a job and you have more money than the person who owns that company you work for.
And they know it too, by the way. It's not like
it's a public record.
Right. It's not like it's a situation where they don't know. They know it. They know how big a deal I am. And that's why James won. He signed an extension because that keeps his net worth where it is. Because playing for the Lakers, as big a deal as James was in Miami, as big a deal as James was in Cleveland, he wasn't nearly as big a deal as he is with the Lakers.
Oh, look, playing for
that's just what
it is. You play for the Lakers, you play for the Celtics.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
Different. It is different.
It is different. And because he plays for the Lakers, he's going to continue to be a bigger deal. The problem that we having with James, and this is another reason why Tone wants him going, the problem that we having with James is that he's old, man. That's the biggest problem that we have with James.
No,
and I'm a James guy. Anybody who knows me knows. Not my problem.
Just so you know, you can finish your thought, but that's not my issue with James.
Oh God,
the biggest problem that James is old, man. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm a James guy. And what you see James doing, how awesome he is, he could still do that. Only except he can't do it consistently like he did 5 years ago. like he did 6 years ago. He'll do it in stretches. He can't play 80 games. He can't play 75 games anymore. Not because his game has suffered, no, but because I'm getting old and I can't, my body is not going to hold up, which is why I've said this in the past. I've heard people say that 5 more years. James is not going to hold up for 5 more years. No way. I
don't think he wants to either, because he's
not going to hold up for 5 more years. I doubt.
My problem with James now, to like today, as a Laker, is that it's not that he's old; it's that he's injury and his age. Maybe part of it's his age. So he's not going to play, like you said. He's not going to play 75, 80 games. So I'm going to have him for 60, 65 games. So what I need to do is to build a team and have a system that I can win games without James. I can be a 500 or better team without James, preferably better. And then when he's there, I'm stacked, right? So when he's gone, he fits into, because James can fit into a system. And I think at this age, he's mature enough to say, hey, okay, fit me into a system. But you can't have him out there scoring 30 points a night and carrying a team on his back anymore. So fix that. What James needs to be is like, perfect example. I know load management. We've talked about it, but Kawhi in Toronto, he missed 22 games. It was planned. Kawhi was going to play 60 games. In those other 22 games, the Raptors went 17-5. So once they had him for those 60 games, they were like one of, if not the best, I guess they won the chip, so you can call them the best teams in the NBA. Top 3 at minimum. Perfect. That's what I want. James, you're going to play these 60 games. We're going to build a team. This is your role in this. It's going to be a big role, but this is your role. But here's what happens when you're not there. And I don't think anyone has ever figured that out. It's always been, give him the ball. I told you, it's his blessing and his curse. Give him the ball. Dude, you're LeBron James. Make it happen. And it's been successful. But I'm telling you, man, he should be a 10-time NBA champion that like went there 12 or 13 times, because he's that talented. And it was just, I've said this to you before, never had the right team. Even in Miami, Wade and Bosh were not the right teammates for the way he played. And it's a shame. It's a damn shame. All right. Do we want to do, we got a ton of super chats. I know I don't know what other topics we have, but
we're going to start, we'll jump into false narratives, but yeah, let's get some super chats out of the way and see what you guys are talking about. And then just so you guys know, we're going to put up the link in a few minutes to let some of you guys come in and, bring your false narratives or like something you have an ideology on. And if you don't, make sure to send it into a super chat so that we can read it and discuss it up here as well.
And just to our friend Elder Rufus, it would be what they have right now if AD was healthy, but AD's not healthy. So if AD was a guy that could play 80 games, yes,
he is, Tone. I'm sick of hearing that. Yes, he is. He went for 30.
How many games does AD?
I think he went for 30 and almost 20.
He's never.
I think he went for almost 30 and 20 a couple of nights ago, and he was held out against Oklahoma City as a precaution.
Right.
He was held out, so he wasn't hurt.
If the wind blows too hard,
he's the one guy that I'm like, okay, I can understand that, because Jay, like every game, there's a moment where he goes down and everybody's breath stops. Why is
that, Age?
Because every time he says out, it's 2 weeks. That's why.
Okay, Alex Pickering, thank you for your super chat. Here's some NBA trivia. With a minimum of 50 triple doubles, Wilt has had the best win percentage when getting one at 88%. Here's me.
Oh, okay. It's not a question. It's
a stat.
Okay. So Alex Pickering, expect to see that on one of my TikToks in a couple of days when I tell you, and now you're more fluent after I share some.
I like that.
Alex. Yeah. That is interesting. 88%. That's impressive.
Getting one at 88%. Word. I like that.
Aramis Jones coming through. And what did y'all think about Brandon Ingram's 40-point game last night with the 3 free throws and one and 1 3-pointer. Wow, my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, he's been averaging around 30 since he's been back with not many free throws and 3-pointers. And it's crazy. I watched that game. I checked the stats after. I think he's averaging like 22 and a half right now. But of course, he missed a ton of time. BI is my guy, one of my favorite players in the league. I love him. And just the skill set. Somebody commented on my video. They were like, oh, Donovan Mitchell's like much better. And it's like statistically, obviously, yeah, he's been playing better this season, but like the skill set that Brandon Ingram has, and I think the capability that he has, especially now playing in New Orleans, like bro is about to blow up. Like he's underrated. People don't talk about him enough. So I only have good things to say about him.
Plus, they were supposed to take a step forward with him and Zion in the lineup, and because they weren't in the lineup, that's why you see New Orleans where you see them. If Brandon Ingram had been healthy the entire season, or been healthier, I think he would have made the All-Star team. That's not something that I think would have been out of bounds. Zion was starting in the All-Star game before he got hurt. So I think the fact that he ended up getting hurt, I think it was a detriment to the New Orleans Pelicans. Nobody is questioning Brandon Ingram's game. I had said the tone last season.
Armis is I'm just guessing, is a Pelicans fan, right?
He talks about a lot. He talking about a lot of
Pelican stuff.
He talking about Brandon Ingram a lot. But I'm on the record.
You live in New Orleans? We gotta go be more important. You live in New Orleans? Are we all coming down from Mardi Gras?
We might have to do that.
You might have to do that. Fluent and chill.
We might have to do that. So
party.
I was on record last summer when KD asked to get traded. I said, call up New Orleans, because I would hand over if you're giving up
Jones and BI.
That's right. I was like, yes, sir.
Yo, last night we were talking about, like, obviously the Warriors made no moves in the buyout market. But I was like, if I could bring any player, it wouldn't be KD, it wouldn't be Giannis, it'd be BI. Just because I think, like, not only does he have a bright future, but he's a high scorer. He can play defense, even though people like often say you saw like Paolo Banchero's tweet saying he's like one of the worst defenders in the league, which was a joke, I think. But like he has it all. Like he has a deep bag. So we just got to see him grow.
Hey, do you know who I love on your crew? If you could have gotten him, I love Alex Caruso in Golden State.
We were talking. I think that was an option.
I dig DiVincenzo. I'm a huge DiVincenzo fan. But I love Alex Caruso because he gives you that other wing defender that doesn't need the basketball but can make shots. I love him in Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's what Gary ends up being, but yeah, we have a lot of issues. All right, let's go for the next one real quick. Reggie Reg, love the show. Question: do you think if LeBron doubles his HGH doses, he can be back over the playoffs? I think it's
I already told you. So you missed it yesterday because what he does is he brings these insults, and I said that for $5, I should be able. I shouldn't have to listen to insults for $5. But then it made
no insult here.
But then it made sense to me because he calls my name because I know I live in the most expensive space in his head. So that's why he's only able to get.
Is this the dude?
He didn't call you.
Reggie Reg.
He always is.
They've got beef.
Let's just say with this HGH thing, let me just say there is a very, very big thing coming out on all PEDs in sports, specifically the NBA. I can't talk too much about it, but we've got certain people, big name people, former NBA coaches, NBA players on record. It's going to be a blast. Unfortunately, there's some things that it's going to take.
Yeah, let's get it out. Let's get it out.
3 months to come out.
Let's get it out.
It's not just about LeBron.
I don't think James on the juice. I got one of my closest buddies. He think James is on the juice. You got to show it to me.
Listen, I've said this very often. I've said this very, very often. There we go. Aramis is a Pelicans fan. Are you in New Orleans? Is the question, and can we all come down there?
Yes.
I've been too long.
I've actually never been. So
you have to go.
I've never been.
You have to go. I believe there's a level of every single, this is as much as I'll say before it comes out because I don't want to tell you that, like, every athlete has, like I said, this is where this all came from, has pushed the limits of what they can and cannot get away with. More news at 11.
I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure.
All right. So next super chat. Bam.
Okay, Christopher D. KD needs 2 rings and 2 Finals MVPs with the Suns to be in my top 10. That failure in Brooklyn knocked him out of my top 15. A 3rd ring plus a Finals MVP put him back in the top 15. Ooh. I have no problem with that. Not at all.
He hasn't moved from where I am, and from where I have him, he hasn't moved, and I can't see him moving.
Where do you have him?
At 15.
Oh, you have him at 15?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 16. I'm sorry, I got him at 16.
16?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, it's tough to put him in the top 10. He's gonna have to.
You basing that once again, Tone. See, this is what I'm talking about, Tone. This is what I mean when we talk about strict, because his logic is strictly championships. If you look at if you look at his logic, he's going strictly off championships. He just said Kevin Durant will move up into the top 10 if he wins 2 more Finals MVPs and 2 more championships. Right. So championships, and I'm the best player in the championship series. Nothing else matters. And if we're doing that, then we got to do that with other guys too. We can't just do that with him. We got to do that with other guys as well.
That's true. Then where's Bill on your list then in that case? You know, you got to, You can't, you're right. You have to use it across the board or not at all.
Right. Remember, Jerry West ended up winning the Finals MVP when his team lost. And the reason why he won the Finals MVP is because they gave it to him after they won Game 6. They didn't even play Game 7 yet.
You know that if they ever gave, do you think if they gave the losing team players Finals MVP,
James would have 9 of them,
right?
Yeah,
very different.
It'd be way different. So,
okay,
there you go.
Next, we got another one.
Yeah, we got 2. Yeah, we got 2.
Okay. Melo Williams, Giannis Antetokounmpo should be the MVP this season over Jokic. Respect Jokic for the triple-double, but to me, both sides of the basketball both sides matter in basketball. We've talked about this, but yeah. Jake.
I had Giannis winning the league MVP before the season started, and I still stand on that logic. I didn't have a problem with Joker winning it. The problem that I have is when people say they're in first place and he's averaging a triple-double. If we go with that triple-double logic again, because if we're going to go back to the triple-double logic, we got to give more Russ. We got to give more league MVPs to Russ. That's what we have to do. We got to give more league MVPs to Russ. So with that also being said, Giannis is, I believe, he's in the top 5 in the league. I think he's second in the league or second in the league in scoring. He's in the top 5 in the league in rebounding. He's got the most 30-10 games. He's got the most 40-10 games. He's got the most 50-10 games. And he's going to be an all-league defender. And Milwaukee is at the top of the Eastern Conference, right? Not only is Milwaukee at the top of the Eastern Conference, it's off the strength of Giannis, even though they got a damn good team. They don't have a good team. They got a damn good team. I got them winning the NBA championship this year. But Giannis, if the season ended today, like I said, I think he's the league MVP.
I'm playing around with the views because the super chats are blocking your face.
Oh no, it's okay because when I clip it gets messed up if it's all moved around. So sorry.
Okay.
I'm just.
No Can I just say this about the MVP thing?
Yeah.
Kendrick Perkins, who I don't agree with very often, did say something. He did say something that we're gonna move right on after I say it, but I just want to put it out there. Since 1990, only 3 players have won the MVP without being top 10 in scoring.
Only 3 players.
Only 3 players. Dirk, Nash, and Jokic.
Maybe.
Let's see.
He tried to imply something about their pigment.
Since
1990, only 3 players have won an MVP without being top 10 in scoring.
Magic was in the top 10 in scoring in 1990 when he won the league MVP. Jordan was in the top 10. Jordan led the league in scoring. He led the league in scoring in 92. Barkley was in the top 10 in scoring. Yep. Olajuwon, I think Olajuwon was 3rd in the league that year in 92. I mean, in 93. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly, Tone. Yeah. So in 92, Jordan won. He led the league in scoring. Barkley was in the top 10. Olajuwon, I think he was 3rd in 94. David Robinson was in the top 10. Jordan led the league in scoring again. And then I think Malone was 2nd in the league in 97. Jordan led the league in scoring again in 98. Led the league MVP in 99. Malone, I think he was at the top of the league. I think he was 3rd in the league in scoring in 99. Shaq led the league in scoring in 2000. Tim Duncan, I think that year in 2001, I think he averaged 25 a game. I think he was in the top 10. 2002, Tim Duncan also. So yeah, I can. Now that I think about it, sure.
You debunked it, and apparently Lowe debunked it as well. And honestly, respect you, Perk, but I don't take really anything that he says.
So I guess the question is this: were they top? We know Nash wasn't. Right. We definitely know Nash wasn't. Was Dirk and was Jokic. That would be the only way to debunk, because that's what we're doing today.
Right.
What he said.
Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, Joker averaged 26 a game last year. That wasn't in the top 10 in scoring. That wasn't a top 10 scorer. He averaged 26 or 27 a game last year.
He was, I think.
He averaged 27 a game.
You keep going. I'll give you another super chat, and I'll look it up. There you go.
He averaged 26 a game last year. That wasn't good. That wasn't good enough for top 10. That's pretty impressive, because I'm pretty sure. I know that Nash wasn't in the top 10. I think he was 18 a game.
Nash we know for sure.
He was 15 and he was 18. Bryant was 36 a game. So we know, and he was 36 a game in 02. 06, I'm sorry. In 07, 08, Bryant was 26 games, 27 games.
Okay,
he was 11.
Last year he lied. So last year Jokic averaged 27.1 per game. That had him at 6th.
Yeah, wait a minute, yo. So that's what I was thinking. 26
Kendrick Perkins has been debunked.
Yeah.
That's not true, Kendrick.
Maybe he meant the year before. He meant the year before. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Someone said he meant this year.
If he wins it this year? No. And here he was. He was 10th. He was 10th last the year before that when he won it. So
if that's true, then wait a minute though, Kendrick. You can't say that.
What year did Dirk win it?
Dirk won it in 07, in the 06-07 season. He won it.
Okay, you guys keep going with this super chat. I'm going to go back to 06,
Double P. Inspired by last week's question, you have 3 artists. Who would you sign, feature in a song, and drop from the label? Andre 3000, J. Cole, and Jadakiss.
Sign, feature in a song, and drop. Okay, so I'm going to start the conversation when I'm not dropping Jada. I'm featuring Jada on a song. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to sign Andre 3000. I'm signing Andre 3000 because he makes damn good material. Yeah. J. Cole makes incredible material. My best friend, he saw him in concert. He told me that should be on my bucket list before I go. I need to see J. Cole in concert. But I think that Andre 3000 is better than him. So I'm signing Andre 3000. I'm featuring Jadakiss on a song, and I'm cutting J. Cole.
I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna drop Jadakiss. I'm going to sign Andre, and I'm gonna start J. Cole. Or I'm going to drop Jada, feature Andre, and sign J. Cole. J. Cole's I love J. Cole.
I'm dropping Jada. He's off the label. Sorry, Jada. And it is Andre 3000 featuring J. Cole, which would be a hot track.
Have y'all heard Jadakiss in features? Are y'all serious? I don't know how dope Jadakiss is.
It's no disrespect.
It's just for me.
Especially on features.
I didn't say I hate it. I'm not just saying.
You did say featured, right?
Yeah, when Jadakiss is on a feature, he will light the track on fire.
They call me the KI double. I get it. I know. I understand.
My goodness.
Angie in the mix.
What up,
Angie? You know Hailey, just for the record, if like you didn't have 2 feet between your head and the top of your camera, we actually could see you when the super chats were there, and then I wouldn't have to deal with people in the chat.
I gotta sit up my posture. Okay, Angie.
Turn your camera down.
What's up, guys? Y'all, my favorite show host. Y'all the only ones that consistently read all super chats. Thank you, Angie. And your super chats are always the best. We appreciate them.
Tone keeps it moving. Tone definitely keeps it moving.
They don't see the private chats where I'm like, speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Next.
Is that it? Oh, is that just? Oh, thanks, Angie. Angie has a couple, so we'll get to them for sure. Because there's another one. Oh, wait, that's the same one.
Yeah.
There's the other one.
Okay, Chill, you picked the 2011 Mavs for my question earlier this week. Do you pick them over the 2014 Spurs in a 7-game series?
I think that the Spurs smoked them. I don't think that they beat the 2011 Mavs. I think they smoked them. No doubt about it. Smoked them. That was the most beautiful basketball I've ever seen. And I've seen some really good basketball. That 2014 San Antonio Spurs team, the way that basketball moved, the way that those guys moved, they constantly kept Miami on the defense and how they exposed that defense. I think they smoked Dallas. And Dallas was a damn good defensive team. I think they smoked Dallas.
Okay.
You're waiting for me.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I'm better. Here we go.
Okay, Jeffrey Bearfield. Why are players today more injured than the 80s and 90s?
That's what I said. I'm telling you, they're playing too much as kids.
I don't think that's.
And I do think there is a level of there's so much money involved that even I don't want to say minor injury, but like not a major injury, it's safer to say, hey, should I play through it or should I take a day for rest to be sure? And when you're making tens of millions of dollars, let's play it safe. I think there's an aspect of that, and I get it. I do get it. Whether I agree with
fair.
It or not,
okay, that's fair. I'm down to give you days off, but I do not remember Anthony Davis playing 100 games before he got to Kentucky. I do not remember that. He was already injured. He was already like that when he came to the NBA.
Well,
it wasn't because
people,
right.
So there's
Kawhi Leonard. I don't remember him being on the internet. I don't remember him being on the circuit.
Like, okay,
like
look,
that.
We can't compare, I use baseball a lot. You can't compare every pitcher to Nolan Ryan, who went out and pitched games all the time. Those guys are outliers. There's exceptions to every rule.
Right.
But, again, we got to use the average player and the average, how many they play. And you got to take averages, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Boom.
Miles, could you go over some of the new CBA rules?
Let's
haven't.
See. I don't know if there are any new rules. I mean,
what are the new?
I don't think
like ones that just recently
nothing has been voted on yet. There's some ones that are being considered. So I would say, Miles, come back next week and we'll have that.
When you talk about stuff like supermax players, no trade clause, like that's stuff that's I guess that's new in the CBA, and we already know what a supermax player is.
Or is he talking about the ones that are probably going to force the NBA to strike because they're not going to agree on?
Right. Now that might be something different. Yeah, that might be something completely different. So
all right, we'll get to that. Listen, Dub, I know you have more money than $199, bro. We'll still do it. But you got more money than $199. All right, the Raptors suck, Fluent. They don't suck, but they are very inconsistent. Feel bad for my bro Fred. You shouldn't feel bad for Fred. He's the problem. He needs to be a distributor instead of shooting 1 for 11 in the last game and going 5 of 17 tonight, 2 for 11 from 3. He's the problem. So don't feel bad for him. He's the problem.
This your lead guard, by the way.
My lead guard is going 1 for 11 and 2 for 11 today from 3 when he should be passing the damn ball.
Amboy Spice, what is y'all's favorite signature shoe?
That's easy for me, and it's always been that the 1991 Jordan 6. Tone, when he came out with the white shirt and the white drawers and he had them black shoes on, it looked like he was from another planet. I was like, what are those? Wow. I need to get me a pair of those. That's one of the first times that I thought that if I put those on, I could be him. And I never felt like that about a player ever.
I could be like Mike.
I never felt like that.
Can you see this box over here right under the flash thing?
No.
This box right here?
No.
What is it?
That's a pair of my black tuxedo patent leather Jordan 11s.
Man.
They
put the 6s on. I was mesmerized.
I bring them out of the box every once in a while just to show people.
Look at them.
Yeah. I love
yeah, I'm a Forest girl. I mean, working at Nike, I have way too many shoes, but I'm a Forest girl. If it comes to basketball shoes, I actually like PGs a lot. I think they're super comfortable. They're they've kind of meshed. I have wide feet, so I haven't tried. I'm excited to see the Jaw ones. I haven't.
Have you not seen them?
I've seen them, but I haven't
are they dope, Tom? I haven't
yet.
seen them. Are they dope?
Listen, you could like pull a gun on a 17-year-old and get away in them. They're super fresh.
Oh.
FYI, for anybody in the chat, one that hasn't liked the video, that's your admission fee, so go do that. But 2, if you're in the Toronto area, in 2 weeks, my youth team, the GTA Mavericks, will be running a shoe drive, speaking of shoes, to give shoes to needy kids in less than, in less than ideal situations. We'll be donating a bunch of shoes to kids. So if you have some shoes to donate, please, Anthony K at sportsfluent.com, holla at me so I can come pick them up from you. All right, next up. Boom. Good shoe question. It's like it was set up that was good.
Yep.
Christopher D again, based on y'all's criteria on the top 5 players from the 80s, how much of an adjustment period is needed to adjust to rules and defenses of today's era?
I would give it a season, Tone. I think Jabbar would need a season. I think all of those guys would need a season to get adjusted to how the rules are and get accustomed to them and adjust their games. I would give those guys Russell, Chamberlain, Jordan, Bird, Magic, Duncan, Olajuwon D. I would give those guys a season to get adjusted to the game. Shaq would be able to adjust to how wide open the game is. I think that he would struggle initially, but I think that he would be able to adjust to the game. Same thing with Olajuwon. I think Olajuwon's game is tailor-made for today's game. Tim Duncan is another one who I think his game is tailor-made for today's game, no doubt.
And yes, you can. I'll put a link. Thank you, Rufus, for donations. I will send you the link. You can just, like I said, email me directly and I'll give it to you. We don't have Cash App in Canada, so it can. There's other ways we can do that if you want to do that, or just So, I will say this. I don't think a season. I don't think it's that long. I think it's like a month. I think it's like a month, and they're especially when you're saying the top 5 players. Yeah, I think you give them a month and they'll adjust and they'll figure it out. I equate it to this, and I know it's a little bit different, but if you think about it, when the Olympic team just on the last Olympics went right, and they had hand checking and the goaltending, and it took them PayPal. Yes, you can hit me up at PayPal. It's my email address, anthonyk at sportsfluent.com. I'll put it in the chat. You're the man. I love this, Rufus. That's awesome. Thank you, bro. That's much appreciated. Awesome. I'm just typing it up. So
that's a good question though. So you think around a month?
So in the Olympics, right? It took them a couple of games, and you saw them initially. They were having a lot of trouble with the hand checking. They didn't look good at all. But what happened? A couple of games in, they figured it out and they adjusted. So now there's more.
Do you think they'd still be top 5 players in the league then?
Well, if we're talking about
season,
what are we, 80s? Who are the top 5 players of the 80s? Bird, Magic, Jordan,
Neek.
Is it Neek? Is it Olajuwon? Is it Dr.? No, not probably. Dr. J is probably older. And Olajuwon. I'd say Olajuwon. Yeah, I think those guys are much
Malone.
Look, let me say this: the top 5 players of any era,
Isaiah,
just fine in any other era.
I agree with that.
That's one of those myths that you can debunk, is that they couldn't play. If you give them time to adjust to everything, because there's a lot that has changed, but if all they did was play basketball, they'd be just fine.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Next one. We're gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna get into debunking. I love the super chats, though. The super chats are wonderful.
Yeah, they've been good. Drink more water. Why does no one talk about the MIL 16 game win streak? The Bucks 16 game win streak.
So drink more water. Just so you know, I don't know if you know this, but they don't talk up. They can't stop talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know where you're watching, but everywhere they're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. They don't stop talking about Giannis. Giannis is the guy.
Drink more water.
Yeah, they don't stop talking about Giannis. Please don't make it sound like ain't no like your boys are under the radar. No, they are not. Everybody knows who these guys are. Not only who they are, that they're steamrolling everybody. Everybody knows that. So that is not news. Everybody.
That's what we said.
Yeah, everybody knows that. That is not news.
Boston who? Also, who they should be talking about is the Kings. Honestly.
The only thing I can think of, drink more water. I don't know where you're located, but if you're in a different country, maybe that might be.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody's
probably he listens to Undisputed, so all they talk about is Kyrie, KD, and the Lakers.
Oh yeah, Undisputed. Yeah, sure.
Don't listen to them. I mean, you can, but also. JS, BS, Kyle Lowry is getting blamed for the team being bad. Tyler Hero, 30 minutes, 4 from 15. 4-15 from the field. He's the most inconsistent 20 points per game player in the NBA, and Jimmy Butler refuses to play like a superstar until the playoffs.
Are you putting Kyle Lowry in the same? I don't know if I understand it. Kyle Lowry is getting blamed for the season.
I think they're blaming. He's saying they're blaming Kyle Lowry for the Heat sneaking. And let's be honest, it's not totally Kyle Lowry's fault, although Kyle Lowry's 100 years old. He's not the same Kyle Lowry that he was, or I don't know what they were expecting. Jimmy Butler has missed time. Tyler Hero has not lived up to his contract. Duncan Robinson has definitely not lived up to his contract. So there's a lot going on in Miami that has caused it. It's not just Lowry's fault. There's enough blame, I think, to go around for everybody.
Two things, Tone. Number one, Tyler Hero made the All-Star team this year, if I'm not mistaken. Did he not?
No, he just made
he was a 3-point shootout contest.
Oh, he was in the 3-point. I thought he made the All-Star team. I'm sorry. I thought he was in. I thought he made the All-Star team. But
Duncan Robinson, that's the best. That's the best chat right there. Duncan Robinson embezzling money. Facts.
Oh, he's definitely stealing. No question about that. He's definitely stealing. I saw the reason why I said that because I saw Tyler Hero at All-Star Weekend. That's right. He was in the 3-point contest. He did not make the All-Star team. No, he didn't.
You saw his face. That's
why I said that.
No. Okay, Angie Carr, what do y'all think about this scenario? Bronny gets picked up by the Spurs, and he and his dad could play with the legendary coach like Pop.
I would not be surprised if James went to San Antonio for Pop. I don't see him putting on a Detroit Piston uniform, Tone. I don't see him putting on a Minnesota Timberwolves.
What are the teams, Jay? What are the 4
I told you my dream scenario. I told you my dream scenario. I told you my dream scenario. No,
absolutely.
Bronny gets drafted by Charlotte.
Got to go play for Jay.
And LeBron goes and has to play for Jay. Hold on. Listen. They both play their last year together, his last year. And at the end of that season or the beginning of the next season, we start with Charlotte. But the entire league now, because that brings Bron and Jordan together, trying to mentor young Bronny. And those two guys come together, and the league retires the number 23 in honor of Jordan and LeBron together. League wide, and they walk off into the sunset, holding hands and saying "Kumbaya."
But hold on, don't leave out the most important part that you said to me. So tell everybody here, what number does Bronny James wear?
Bronny wears 23 for that.
Oh my god!
It would be such a good movie. Everybody would cry at that movie. Everybody would cry. And you know what else? And then we have like Ray Allen and KG hugging it out too. I think that's
just all.
Fantastic.
I love that.
I'm nothing else if not a good writer.
Yeah.
He puts on a Charlotte, and James puts on a Charlotte Hornets jersey too. Yes, he does.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying. They all go together.
Yeah. But realistically, where is that realistically?
No, I think realistically, San Antonio actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it does.
That could be a beautiful.
But because I'm just saying, because if you bring those two guys to Charlotte, Space Jam 3 is written itself.
Oh no, I'm good. Wait, do you think Pop has 2 more years though in the league?
Yeah,
he's gonna be around until he can't stand anymore.
Pop's never leaving. You crazy?
Yeah, I just wondered because how old was Phil Jackson when he?
In his 70s.
70s, yeah.
And Pop is
Phil would still be coaching if his knees held up. Like you saw him at the end there, he could barely get up and down to walk up and down the court. So I think that had part to do with it.
If you see Hailey, that the on the benches, when you see that extra cushion, that was implemented because of Phil Jackson, because he had a bad back. That's why that came in. Yeah, if you see if you see those guys when they had that huge cushion that they sit on, that was because of Phil Jackson, because he had a bad back. They brought that in for him specifically.
That's sweet. Hey, what's up, Leaf? All heads, flu shot, CT, sister Hailey. Good to see you.
In effect,
don't forget to get your flu shot.
Boy Spice. Katie is a Dodger dog. L7 weenie, A square. Yeah.
I suppose.
Get it out.
I don't even know what that means, but it's.
I don't either. I don't either.
I know enough. All right, Aramis Jones again. If they make a Space Jam 3, they gotta have Bronny in it and make MJ Beast.
Oh no! MJ would be like the granddad. No, he would be the granddad. Dude. Come on. All right.
Sports PSP. Fluent, check out my top 5 quarterbacks I did on YouTube. What were y'all's thoughts on Kendrick Perkins accusing Jokic on stat padding? Yeah.
I'd never understood, Tone, the logic of stat padding. Can you explain to me exactly what stat padding is? Because I hear that a lot.
I can tell you. Oh, stat padding. That's easy. First of all, Sports PSP, give him a follow.
Great he's dope, by the way. Yeah,
he joined us. But also, send me the link for that because I definitely will check that out. Stat padding is this. I'll give you the exact definition. I don't like a player, so I want to devalue them by telling you that they're padding their stats.
Ah, that's what this is. Okay, I got you.
Now you're more fluent.
Now
that's
I'm good.
Fluent's
Okay.
definition. My definition is that, well, I agree with you, but I think there are some circumstances where a player does have to like play. And also, what's the problem if like Dame wants to stay in the game and get 72? Like, I don't see a problem with it. He gets nothing else from the league. Why not just like be able to get your individual stats up?
Why is that stat padding though? I mean, in order for us to win, he has to play. And you're talking about Joker averaging a triple double. They need every one of those points, every one of those rebounds, and every one of those assists in order to win with Joker in the lineup. So
my thought process is like, if you're up, even if you're up by 20 at like with like 6 in the fourth, we know anything is possible. So let the guys play it out. And I think the fear is just like some guys like Tatum are play the whole game when he doesn't really need to.
Yeah. Okay. So that part I'll give you. So like if you're up 30 points and your starters are still in with 2 minutes left, or one of your starters is still in and they're taking every shot, okay, I'll give you that. But that doesn't happen that often. In most cases, you see guys where they've got 60 in 3 quarters. We've seen this before, and they take them out and they don't play again because they're up big. So, you know, if they were stat padding, they'd be throwing them in there. Now, I will say this. Certain players, so Jokic in this example, doesn't make it hard for you to throw the stat padding label on him, because when you look at what happened, coincidence or not, game play or not, game script or not, he's at 9.5 assists per game.
Yep.
He's close to getting that 10, so he can have an average of a triple double.
Right.
The next games after that, I think it's 5 or 7 games, you see his assist numbers going up and his average assist for the season going up, getting closer and closer to 10. But also, if you paid attention to the statistics, you'll see his field goal attempts are going down. So is he taking less shots in favor of giving that extra pass to get an assist?
I don't think
you got to watch the game. Well, you got to watch the game to really determine. But if you just looked at statistics, you could say, well, there's a correlation there. He needed a few more assists. All of a sudden, he's getting them, and he's taking less shots to do it. If you just look at it from the surface, you could make, you're making their argument easy for them, and you shouldn't, that's the tough part when you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying that's where that narrative comes from. And
also, Tone, I mean, is Denver steamrolling everybody? I mean, they need Joker in the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like, they're rolling over everybody. I mean, they were just in the overtime game a couple of nights ago against the Clippers. So, I mean, he needs to be on the floor.
It's just a dumb term. People
you know what, though? I don't care. If you win the game and drop 40, 10, and 10,
do it.
And you could have won by doing 38 and 8, I don't care. I don't.
Me neither, Tone.
I'd do it.
Okay, Alex Pickering, if I was an athlete that was accused of taking something, whether I was or not, is a huge compliment to my genetics. Like LeBron. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Airman's again, thank you so much, and shout out to you, Hailey, for showing love to BI. Good to see a fellow fan of that brothers game. Real ones know, salute to y'all panel. One of my favorites on PC. Thank you, Airman. And I always got him. I can't wait to see
Ingram he's a baller, no question about it. No. He's super nice.
Got big love for him. I'm not in New Orleans now. I moved to Florida, but I got y'all for the next Mardi Gras. I'm going back down there. Let's go. Sounds good.
Y'all say it. I'm not kidding. We're going to do Fluent and Chill live. Fat Tuesday, baby. We'll make a special Tuesday episode.
I'm down. Let's go.
See? Yeah, we're all in.
Okay, Lego Rovers. Fluent Magic. Fluent Magic wasn't top 10 in scoring in his MVPs before 90. Perk is cherry picking.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why he said 19. I think maybe we got the quote wrong. Maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he meant Dirk, who was technically 11th, so he lost the tiebreaker for whatever reason. Maybe it was point. When they do 24.6, if you go further out, one might have been 24.561 and the other was 24.59, and they both get rounded up to 0.6. So that's why he was on 11th. So technically, he's right about Dirk. We know that he's right about Nash, and maybe he was saying if Fluent, if Fluent wins the MVP this year, if Jokic wins the MVP this year. That would be dope if I won. But if Jokic wins it this year, he's not in the top 10 this year. So maybe that's what he was trying to. I hate that racial narrative, though. That's whatever.
Kirk just seems,
We ain't living in that time in the game. No,
no, I don't. Maybe we're naive to it. I don't know, but I don't think we are. So, what was that? Oh,
okay. Your boy Reg, FLUENT CHILL. I'm just messing with him. Hailey, the real goat.
I'm just messing with you too, brother.
Man, it's all fun. I think that's what makes it so much.
Messing with you too, brother.
I would love doing.
We worked that out. Frank, how you skip Iverson MVP year?
In 2001, I said Duncan in 2001. That's my fault. Iverson won it in 2001. I remember everything. I think he led the league in scoring that year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more, and then we're gonna start debunking. And we'll get to the rest of the super chats. As you know, we always get to all the super chats.
Dorian Clayton, Win, Hose, Fluent, and H Boogie. Y'all the best. Thank you.
H Boogie in the house.
Hey.
All right, actually, we'll do one more.
Aramis, did y'all see Paul George's interview on JJ Redick's podcast about load management?
You know what, Tone? I feel like I should be more in the know with these other podcasts. I'm just so far. I feel like an artist who, I'm in this group and all I care about is what we doing. Like I ain't really paying no attention.
When you're in the studio so much working on your music, it's hard to be out listening.
Right, I'm not really paying attention to what these dudes is writing and what these dudes are doing. I'm paying attention to what we doing. That's it.
So I'm going to say this.
I didn't see it. No, I'm sorry.
I didn't see it, but it got sent to me today. So I'm going to watch it tonight. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you better input on it. But I did see the one clip where where Paul George said, I realized, I'm paraphrasing, that I couldn't be the number one on a championship team. I realized, he was very honest and transparent. And the fact that he's still playing and was that honest, because we see people afterwards do it. Mm-hmm. But for someone to do it as they're in the moment, I think that is...
And you hear a lot of people say, yo, you should never admit something like that. Well, if it's true,
why not?
Yeah, I respect
if it's true, I heard Larry Bird after the finals. Magic's the best player I ever seen.
Yeah, I heard Barkley after the final say that's the first time when he lost to Jordan. It's the first time I ever thought someone was better at basketball than me.
And not only that, Tone,
the honesty.
And not only that, Tone, really quickly, you know how hard it is to be a number one on an NBA championship team? That's very difficult to do that. There's only a select few of guys that can say, I'm the best player on a championship team. Not to mention multiple championship teams.
Yeah. Hey, listen, shout out to me. I picked on Gilbert Arenas enough that he came out today and said he was wrong. Jordan's the GOAT.
Proud of you.
I got him.
Talk enough. Talk enough to these people. They will start. They will listen. They hear you.
All right, which one? Let's debunk some stuff.
Okay.
You want to start with the one that has the video clip, or you want to start with a different one?
Let's start with the video clip, and then we'll answer a few that were sent into Fluent, and then we will have one or maybe a few of you guys on, and then let's get debunking.
And you have the list, right? That was sent to me.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. In that case, what's happening? Oh, there we go. Maybe I need to learn how to run this thing.
You keep joining super teams to win the NBA title. How about we work out together sometime so I can teach you how to carry your own team?
Oh! Ooh! Did y'all heard that, right?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest.
I did hear that.
So is KD a bus rider?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He did do his job. He did do his job in Golden State, but it was less difficult. A lot less difficult. So when I think about what he did in Golden State, I mean, was he the best player on the championship team? Steph Curry made it less difficult for him. A lot less difficult for him.
I did not. I thought we were going to debate on this one. I'm very shocked.
Tone, you getting on the crew, and I mentioned this to you in the past. We were the gatekeepers. So in order for you to get to him, you got to get past us, and you're not going to get past us. But in order for us to beat him, we don't have what it takes to beat him. So you can't beat us. We can't beat him, which means you can't beat us. We can't beat him without you. You can't beat him without us. So let's get together and do it.
if KD stays in OKC, and the highlight of his career is taking that, let's be honest, young but stacked team to the finals and losing to the Heat, are we looking at and never goes back and never wins a chip but stays in KC? Are we like, is he like in the same realm as Dame?
Go up higher.
He's still higher than Dame?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
We talking about him? We talking about him like we're talking about him. Yeah, that's how we talking about him. Like we talk about Barkley, like we talk about Malone. That's how we talking about him. That's exactly how we talking.
Yeah,
about him.
yeah, I can agree. I think that's a good comparison.
That's where he is.
Yeah, that's how we talking about him.
But would you respect him more than for what his careers look like now?
No, and I'm not going to say no, but what I am going to say is a lot of people forget that it's not just about basketball. KD didn't want to live in Oklahoma City anymore, neither.
Yeah,
that's true. I don't blame him. So, well, I can't. Yeah.
It was in addition to it being a basketball decision, it was also a business decision too. I mean, KD ended up making a lot more money moving to the Bay Area.
Yeah, so, sure. But is he?
I understand it.
But so you don't think if he doesn't have those 2 rings, he's on that tier with Barkley and Malone?
We talking about him like we talk about Malone. Yeah, like we talk about Barkley. That's how we talking about him. A superstar who never won an NBA championship, like Elgin Baylor, guys like that.
All right, there you have it. KD is a bus rider. Done. Mm-hmm. Hailey, next.
All right. Up next, we have a couple, but I'll.
Okay. You pick and choose. You go. You pick.
Okay. So let's do this one. Are most he came out and said that most of the stars of the game are all about securing the bag rather than delivering for the fans and their team. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
That's not true.
Say it again.
Most of the stars of the game are all about securing the bag rather than delivering for the fans and their team.
There's a reason for that, though, Tone. The reason for that is because players get paid today on potential. They don't get paid on what they did. They get paid on what we think they can do. So, of course, a guy is going to sign a 4-year, $145 million deal because of what he might be able to do. When a guy gets an extension in the 90s, when a guy gets an extension in the 2000s, it's because he's been in the league for 5-6 years and he's been to the NBA championship. He's been a league MVP. He's been an all NBA performer. All of those things. These guys today, no, it's not like that.
So they are all about securing the bag rather than delivering. They're more concerned with the money than they are the game, right?
I would say yes and no.
Generally, maybe.
I would say yes and no. I would say early on in their careers, they're all about the bag, as they should be. Mm-hmm. As they should be, because your career could be 20 years, 10 years, 3 years, 1 year, no years.
Yeah.
So if you have an opportunity to make that money, you should go out and get as much as you can, as fast as you can, 1,000%, right? Later on in their careers, I feel that it goes from getting the money and then it goes to legacy and getting a ring. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see a lot of times later on in people's careers, they're doing things, maybe not making the best decisions,
right,
to get that ring to cement their legacy. But yeah, I don't. So let's be clear. Yes, it is about getting that bag, but it's okay. But as they should. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. We already did this one. How about this? Players get away with more than they used to, especially traveling.
Get away with more than they used to. What do you mean? Elaborate on that one.
Violations, stuff like that.
Oh, traveling like on a plane.
Violations.
Cool. I'm sorry. Of course they do. They added an extra step in the rules. They literally added an extra step.
It's called the gather step.
Gather step.
Is nuts to me. And I also heard, Tone, I heard somebody say to me today that you guys, you get a pre-gather step, then a gather step, and then another. I'm thinking that's 4 steps. How's that work?
We see that every day. I see that every single day. I
saw a gather. I forget who it was, but I have the clip. I have to actually go and debunk it on that it was actually a travel, even though it wasn't called a travel. Gather, 1, 2, pivot, turn, step, up and under. And I'm like, dude, that's like 75 steps. That's a travel.
So what is that?
It happens all the time. Every game, at least once. So that's why I always say, and we'll probably get to this one, but I'll give it a little precursor here. That's why I say, like, when we say they're way more skilled today, and I go, hold on, They get an extra step. They get to palm the ball. They get to carry. Like they do have a little bit of a benefit to make it a little bit easier.
That palm that Ja does, where he basically picks the ball up and runs with it and then jukes. I'm thinking to myself, if you could do that, how much better does that make you? That can't be legit, can it?
100%. That's not a false narrative. That is 100% a true narrative that they absolutely get away with traveling, palming.
Yeah.
Right.
A million percent.
That's not a false narrative. No way.
Yeah.
So not debunked. Agreed. Okay, I've got one more. Well, two more. Let's do this one first. LeBron doesn't flop. I don't know what that is.
Can I take this one? Can I take this one?
Please.
Every single player in the NBA flops. LeBron, however, you guys are going to love this. I'm going to defend LeBron here. LeBron does it, and he just gets seen doing it more because, well, he's the spotlight of most highlight reels, of most players, of most fans. They're watching him. Yeah. So now, I also think he does it more. They also see him do it more. And let me tell you this. It's brilliant. It's one of the things why I give him a uptick on his higher IQ, because you know why he flops? Because the idiot refs let him. The idiot refs call it. The idiot refs give him the benefit of the doubt and give and it works. So you want him or others to stop flopping? Stop calling it. You want him to stop flopping? Fine him. You have the rule in there. Fine him. Every single player, I see it again with the youth guys. They're flopping too because they're trying to get a call. Why? Because go look at soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, where part of the world you live in. What do? Right? Someone breathes on them. They go down like someone shot them. And they come over with the yellow card, red card, right?
Dude, the acting skills these days. Yeah. When it comes to LeBron, actually, I think he used to flop a lot more. He did. He used to flop a lot.
You know why he doesn't flop as much now?
Because he doesn't get the call. He doesn't get the calls he should get now, in my opinion.
No, that's dead wrong. You know why he doesn't flop now?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't flop as much now because he's too old. It's harder to get up.
He's old. That's why.
I never hit the ground. I used to dive for loose balls. Now, hell no.
He's old.
You can have it. It's yours. Go ahead.
He's old.
That's yours. You can have it.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Last one. LeBron is more clutch.
This can't be the last one. Last one before we do more super chats. We're gonna do some more. Or we're gonna let people bring theirs. Okay.
The ones you sent me on that page.
Okay.
But I have more on the other one too. Right. So yeah, do you guys think that LeBron is more clutch than Kobe?
Yes.
No.
Oh, here we go. Okay, Fluent, you gotta debunk it. I
don't have to do nothing. No. He said
you have to though.
I said no. He didn't. Why? He didn't give anything.
Yes, I do.
Well, don't you guys? I mean, obviously there's a narrative that like LeBron has hit. You know, there's moment that what do you mean?
Okay, do you mean when you say clutch? Like who do I want taking the last shot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Kobe is more clutch in that sense that he is going to take that last shot, and because he's going to take that last shot, he's probably going to hit more of them. Well, LeBron is a different type of player. If when he's in the clutch, he's not always going to shoot it. Sometimes, it's the right basketball move, but sometimes he's going to pass it and put the ball in someone else's hands, which again is probably the right basketball play. But that doesn't take away from his clutchness. But that's why Kobe is the guy that's going to take and make the last shot. LeBron is going to make the right basketball play, so he's not going to take and make as many. And if I foul him, I feel pretty good if I foul LeBron.
Going to the stripe, sure.
I know that Kobe's going to make it. LeBron, I'm not sure.
Free throw line for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though
it's not a big gap. It's super
close, but you're taking Kobe.
Even though James shoots a higher percentage in the clutch than Kobe, that's number one. Even though he has more buzzer beaters in game-winning buzzer beaters in the playoffs than Kobe. And clutch isn't just scoring the basketball. Clutch is coming up with big blocks. Clutch is coming up with big rebounds. Clutch is coming up with big steals, and he's done that plenty of times. We've seen that. Blocked by James. Those things have happened with James more often than they've happened with Kobe. And Kobe is incredible in the clutch, but it's not just about scoring. When James has done more things, passing the basketball, coming up with big steals, coming up with big assists, things like that in order to find guys. So there you have it.
And that's why I clarified by saying, who do I want to take the last shot and make it? I'm taking Kobe.
I think that's good. I'm trying to see if those were all the ones sent in.
We've got all of them were sent in, by the way, regardless of the list I sent you.
Mhm.
They're all sent in just by different channels. So I took a screenshot of the others. The ones that I typed in were still all of these were sent.
Okay, so then we already talked about athletes then versus today. LeBron being pass first.
There's a lot of LeBron ones. Can we?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
LeBron is not a pass first player. No,
LeBron is not a pass first player.
No,
that is a false narrative.
Let's dead that logic right now. LeBron is a scorer who can pass at an elite level.
LeBron is a scorer, top 5 scorer of all time, who is a willing passer.
Right.
And when you look at most of the top 5 scorers, Jordan, Wilt, Kobe, whoever you have in your list, KD, they aren't willing passers. They'll pass when they have to, but LeBron of the bunch is the most willing passer. Okay, right. and here's what exemplifies it. He is 12th all time in field goal attempts per game. 12th.
Right.
All time. Ahead of Kobe in field goal attempts per game.
Shoots more.
No one has ever accused him. And don't tell me, well, in the beginning of his career, end of his career, I don't care. They both played 20 years. Trust me, it averaged out over 20 years.
Yes,
so he shoots more than Kobe per game. He's the number 1 scorer all time with the second most field goal attempts all time. That is not a pass first guy is magic, right? When you can have the same amount of assists as you do field goal attempts, okay, you're pass first. Stockton. Pass first. Kid, pass first. LeBron James is a top 5 scorer all time who is a very willing and good, like great playmaker / passer. And I think a lot of people have confused the two for this false narrative. It's not true.
Fact.
And if you and he and I agree on it,
James is not a pass first guy. No, he is not.
This is a big one, you guys.
Yeah.
Did Wilt Chamberlain score 100 points?
Yes, he did, Tone. It's on record. It happened. Yes, he did, Tone. It's on record. It happened. The people that were actually there, the people who played in the game, there's an entire documentary on it. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. Yes, he did.
15,000 people said they were at the game. The arena holds 4,250 people.
Of course, that's
one. That's one. Two. It was on record. Yeah, some dude with a pencil was ticking a piece of paper. I'm trusting that. No.
Yes, you are, Tone.
3. We've asked the NBA. We're still waiting to get the full radio copy of the game. All that has been sent was the last 3 minutes. The best part is the last 3 minutes don't jive with what the pictures show.
Whoa.
Wait, why would they hide that from us?
The last 3 minutes. Hold on, we're going to investigate it. So I'm saying, as of right now, I don't believe it until I get the tapes. The last 3 minutes says at 46 seconds left in the game that he scored his 100th point, and there was pandemonium. The players, the crowd, the coaches, everybody rushed the court. The photographers, the 2 that were there, none of them took a picture of the crowd rushing the court.
Right.
Maybe they got knocked over by the crowd.
The radio broadcast ends with 46 seconds left in the game, but they said they finished the game. Well, how come the radio broadcast doesn't finish the game? I'm just saying there's a lot of questions.
Chamberlain said that they didn't
anything Chamberlain said.
Chamberlain said they didn't finish the game. That's number 1.
Okay, right? So there you go. Where's the NBA said they did?
Chamberlain said that they didn't finish the game. He said that the ref stopped the game. Even with that also being said, you just said, Tone, that there was 3 minutes left in the game, and the radio broadcast
the broadcast was 3 minutes long. That's all that.
The broadcast was 3 minutes long. That's evidence that the game happened. So we'll start there.
It didn't come out till 2 years after the fact. So it's even
if it came out 10 years after the fact, we have evidence here. Even if it came out 10 years later, we have evidence. This thing happened. Here it is right here. We didn't make this up. We didn't manufacture this. This actually happened. With that also being said, there were the people who were there. Harvey Pollock, who was working for the 76ers for almost 90, however long the 76ers were around. He was the scorekeeper that night. He was there. Players who were there. The most important guy who actually, I forgot his name. He played for the 76ers. He played for the 76ers, talking about how he was the one who gave the Warriors. I'm sorry. He was the one who gave Wilt the pass at the end of the game. And this is why I am 100% confident in that. the game. Not only did Wilt score 100, just so you guys know in the chat, Tone H, after he scored 100 on the New York Knicks, do you know that Wilt Chamberlain lived in New York City? Do you know how he got home that night? He rode back to New York City with the New York Knicks players.
Exactly.
Ooh, I didn't know
gave him
that.
a ride. Yes,
because the conspiracy was in to help boost the league by having their greatest scorer drop 100 and make something that was newsworthy. So they could get their big camera with the big flash and this powder flying everywhere.
They weren't even supposed to be at Hershey. It was supposed to be somewhere else.
100.
That's right. It happened.
Yeah. I don't think Will could count to 100. I don't believe.
He can count to 20,000.
I don't think exactly. So did he exaggerate the 100 as much as he exaggerated that? Good point.
Okay. Should we do a few more super chats real quick?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because I'm guessing
We got some more things to debunk, but let's do some super chats.
Okay, WTM 800. Who could compete in a versus with Stevie Wonder?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
R. Kelly.
Stop bringing up that pedophile, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, like I told you, Tone, O.J. Simpson is one of the worst people on planet Earth. O.J. Simpson is one of the worst people that I've ever laid eyes on. I can't separate that from the fact that the dude did run for 2,000 yards in 14 games. He did that. I can't fight that. He did do that. And
can we talk about something?
I know how you feel about R. Kelly, but when I think about Stevie Wonder, R. Kelly, it'd be pretty difficult for Stevie Wonder to top R. Kelly in a versus. Good luck, brother.
I'm taking Stevie Wonder. You know why? I'm very superstitious. All right,
that's why.
Okay, Frank Perk is talking about this year Jokic.
Okay, so about this year Jokic not being top 10 because he's 19th right now. Wow,
that's crazy. I mean, makes sense. Everybody's been like,
right?
Yeah, everyone's scoring like 30 points.
Yeah. Melo Williams better handles Jamal Crawford or Kyrie Irving.
I think.
Yeah.
Before I saw Kyrie Irving, I thought Kenny Anderson was the best ball handler. Jamal Crawford does stuff in games, but Kyrie Irving keeps that thing on a string, and he's going somewhere with it. He's the best that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm actually I agree. I think Kyrie, my greatest I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of ball handlers.
Yeah,
he's so smooth with it.
Super nice with the pill.
It literally, like, we use the expression like it looks like it's on a string. It actually looks like it's on a string.
It does.
Kyrie. Like it's crazy.
Does.
Yeah. Kevo is sending M. Cooper called JJ Redick a poor man Danny Ainge.
No, Danny Ainge was better. That's an insult to Danny Ainge. Even though he says it's a poor man, it's like a homeless man.
Danny Ainge was better than JJ Redick. Yes,
old heads do not like JJ.
Danny Ainge significantly better than JJ Redick. Michael Cooper complimented him. Although I do believe Michael Cooper when he said he would lock up JJ Redick.
I believe that too.
JJ Redick would get locked up and have no idea what to do against.
I do believe that.
Okay.
And Danny Ainge was a start on the championship team. Yes, he was.
Ant Boy Spice, y'all never seen Sandlot.
You killing me, Smalls.
That's
killing me, Smalls.
I love that. I've watched that movie about 1,000 times. Did we miss something about? There might have been a reference that we missed.
Maybe. Double P, 2-part super chat. Give me your best one-on-one NBA to rap stars equivalent like LBJ to Jay-Z, B plus A plus in every category. Great longevity. Wilt, Rakim, underappreciated, a transcendent game. MJ, Tupac, obvious. That's tricky, but we can do it.
All right, well, let's get part 2 of that.
Yeah. Okay, part 2. Kobe to Eminem. Very technical games, and nobody wanted to smoke with them. Stans think he's the GOAT. Bird, big, all-time peak stretches. Improve upon mine, or think of some new ones. Appreciated as always. That's so complex.
That is the most complex.
It is, yo.
Ever
I feel like I need a whole hour.
So let me try to put it into terms that I can understand. So give me a rapper and the basketball equivalent, or a basketball player and the rapper equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's the easy one.
For each.
I'm going to give you for each one of those, or can I make up my own?
Make up your own. Yeah.
Make up my own. Here, all right. Here, I'm going to take the easy one off the board. Len Bias, Big L.
Yes, that's fair. Len Bias, Big L.
Do you know that reference, Hailey?
No. What?
Do you know that reference? Len Bias and Big L. Big L was like gonna be the GOAT rapper, but he was taken out early, and we didn't actually get to see.
Who's Big L?
He's a rapper, or he.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to do rapper to NBA player.
Yeah, I said and then Len Bias, who was drafted by the Boston Celtics, was supposed to be better than Jordan, and unfortunately,
so Big L is Big L is this generation's Pop Smoke. How about that?
Okay.
That's who Big L is.
See,
like he was on it. Like he was.
I have no idea who Pop Smoke is.
He was on his way to doing something special. That's who he is. He was on his way to doing something special, and did something happen to him. I would say Kawhi Leonard to Chance the Rapper. Like he'll come out with something every so often that's super dope, and then you won't hear from him for a long time, and then he'll come back with something that's super dope again, and then you won't hear from him again.
I see where you're going. Yeah. Because Kawhi has his like little periods. Yeah.
KD, Kevin Durant is like Jadakiss. You never want him to lead a track, but he's a great guest appearance.
That's fair. Like if you feature him on a track, it's fire. It's fire.
We get so much. I'm a KD hater. Can we? Oh, maybe that'll be the next thing we debunk is the hater nonsense.
If KD is a superstar.
No. We know he's not. We've proven that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's about all we got. Okay, Andrew G. Chill, you lied on the panel. Wow.
No, I didn't.
What?
I did not.
I heard you got smoked on the panel. I heard you had a tough time on Tuesday.
I got roughed up a little bit.
Who was it? Ticket?
I got roughed up.
No,
I definitely got roughed up.
They all teamed up on him, was what I heard.
They did. All of them.
What was the topic?
I got roughed up, no doubt.
Okay. I didn't say I wanted Tatum off team. I don't like the Tatum leading Celtics narratives. He's too inconsistent. Yes! Tatum top 9 or 10. I love this. I like you, Andrew.
All right, take it away, since that's the one. Andrew, you're in her good books now. Why do you believe that, Hailey?
Look, like I have looked into stats and everything, and when it comes to I know Jay. When it comes to the inconsistencies, and a lot of it's not even to do with themselves. Sometimes like they bench him because they don't want him to overplay or whatever. But I really do believe like what Jaylen Brown, I'm not saying last season in the regular season, Tatum was him. They would have never made it to the finals without what Tatum did, right? But I do believe that if you take Jaylen Brown and you allow him the same minutes and to lead that team, he's going to do a better job just because I think he has a wider skill set. I don't like Tatum's, like, I think he gives up in moments where he has to be stronger in those moments as a leader. Obviously, they have players like Marcus Smart to come in alongside. They have Al Horford. They have these vets who can obviously help him out. But I think there's just something Tatum hasn't tapped into when it comes to a leadership position. Maybe that's just me, that I think Jaylen Brown can tap into, and especially did in the playoffs last season.
And I think that's fair.
Go ahead.
No.
I got nothing for that. I've been over this Jason Tatum stuff.
I got an announcement to make. So let me make two quick announcements, and we'll get back to the rest of these super chats, and then invite you guys in to give us your stuff that we want to debunk, or you want us to debunk, or you want to debunk us. One, there were so many false narratives that were sent. Literally, we got 75 sent in. Damn. So I am going to start a series where I'm going to do a full episode on Sports Fluent on my channel of debunking each one with going in depth with stats and interviews. So I'm gonna get these guys clips. I'm gonna get everyone's kind of take on it, and we're gonna debunk stats. So we're gonna make that's what I'm just gonna spend the next 3 months doing. Yeah. Number two, and this is to you guys, but also to the chat. I know that I don't have the ability to do a poll, so just tell me yes or no in the chat. So once upon a time, as you remember, I was messing around on my YouTube channel that I don't really use, but where I was just interviewing people that I found interesting. And Jay and I used to do, as part of Fluent and Chill, we used to do this like segment called Conspiracy. And I would lay out a conspiracy, and then we would vote out of 10, like, how true do you think this is? 1 being no way, 10 being yeah, it's absolutely true.
I like that.
One of those conspiracies I did was that the earth is flat. And we both said 10. Or no, 1. There's no chance it's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I did that, the most prominent or predominant flat earther, millions of followers, has a flat earth app. Like, he's the one that people go to for flat earth. Flat Earth Dave reached out to me and said, hey, I saw your guys' episode and I want to come on and talk to you about it. Because of scheduling, we couldn't do it together. I did it just one-on-one with him, and we went through and I just listened. I really just said, I listened. I had questions afterwards. And so I had recently said to him, hey, I just got a question. If the earth is flat, how come I can see the moon and the sun that are round? So are you saying that everything else is round and we're the only flat? He goes, oh, I've got an answer for you. If you guys on Fluent and Chill want to invite me on, but I want all of you, I can give you some new stuff. So the question is this, one to the chat, 10 minutes of our time, I not long. Would you want Flat Earth Dave to come on and try to convince us, yes or no?
Well, first of all, he don't have to convince Tone, because Tone already on the hook. Tone already heard him, and Tone's already.
Yes, no, I don't believe it.
Tone's already on the hook.
Have you ever been in an airplane?
But he brought some points to Tone, and Tone is now talking to me, telling me, Jay, I think the Earth might be flat.
No,
I'm not saying that the Earth is flat, but I'm not saying the Earth is not flat. I'm just saying I can't say with 100% certainty that it is flat. That's basically what he said.
What I said was, I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but he did bring up some good points that make you go.
Once again, there you go. So I ain't saying he right, but I ain't saying he wrong neither. So wait a minute, there might be some truth to this.
Maybe we can get Kyrie on the episode. Maybe he'll come and join.
If we get Kyrie, if we get Kyrie and him on here, we might have some whole other stuff going on. We might the Earth is flat. Birds actually have pills in them. Or
birds aren't. Have you heard the birds?
Birds are really robots, man.
They're controlled by the government to spy on us.
Forget it.
That would be crazy, though. That's a different kind of.
So do we want to? Because I could tell him 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, and he's off. But he has 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, if we can get Kyrie on, I'm down.
Only if we get Kyrie on.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. What does the chat say?
All right, chat, here's your vote. Go. He also believes the moon landing was fake too. That's actually
that's what I'm talking about. Like Neil Armstrong.
Like,
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
That's a no for me. I'm sorry.
This is what I'm talking about. The Earth is flat. We never went to the moon.
Where is he from?
Neil Armstrong.
Is he from the US?
Yeah, he's from the US. Yeah.
And I'm a conspiracy theorist, but give me a break.
Yeah, me too. Die hard. But there's some things that's just propaganda.
I don't care. I'm gonna invite him on.
See, Tone loves this. This is what Tone lives for. He lives for this, yo. He lives for this stuff.
We'll start early. We'll start early so we can still do the 2 hours and whatever of basketball. Okay. All right.
Hey, it's time to open our minds.
Yeah,
I can only learn more. I can only become
never hurts to listen.
Okay, Hunter 3200. Have you guys heard Kendrick's? Yes, Kendrick Perkins comments on Jokic, disgusting in my opinion. Yeah, we did. I mean, we can give you a summary, but yeah, go to the beginning of the video because we talked about it in depth.
Definitely talked about that. Absolutely.
Yep,
and yes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Angie Carr. What if Seattle was never sold to OKC? Does KD bring a ring back to the Pacific Northwest? Imagine a reality where Seattle and Vancouver get teams back again.
Oh, it would be fantastic.
Yes.
They absolutely both need teams.
Seattle.
Did you guys watch that documentary on what happened to the Grizzlies? What really happened to the Grizzlies?
I didn't see it. I'd love to see it though.
Yeah, it's available right now, I believe, on Crave or not Crave. What do you guys have down there? Showtime? I don't know. One of those things.
Showtime.
It's fantastic, and it really sheds some light into like they got robbed of their team, man. It's a shame.
Wait, where are the Grizzlies?
They Memphis. Yeah, they in Memphis.
Yeah, and they moved. Yeah, now they're in Memphis.
Yeah, they moved to Memphis.
Yeah,
they moved to Memphis.
And
they got their team stolen too. I didn't know that. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that documentary. No doubt about it. I'd love to see it.
What percentage of current player would be average in the 90s?
What percentage of current players would be average in the 90s? Probably half the league. They could be average. They could be average players. Half the league would be average players.
I would say I would say however many players are average now would be average players then too. because there's players now. Here's the thing. There's players now, and I guess I'm going to use a baseball analogy. I'm sorry. There's players now that are specialty players. There's 3-and-D guys. There was back then too, but there's just that 3-and-D guy wouldn't really be. He would just be a D. No, that sounds terrible. He would just be a defensive specialist back then because they didn't shoot. Pause. Yeah, sorry. They didn't shoot a lot of threes. So with these guys now who are 3-and-D guys, are they good enough defensively just to be a defensive specialist back then? Probably not. So they'd lose a lot of their value because, again, if you put them back in a time when they're only shooting, if you think about it, 10 threes a game, well, how many is one player going to get? 2? 3? Right. So their value really gets decreased, and so I think that the upper level guys, there's a difference, but the average guys now would be average then too.
So the 8th man, which is an average player today, he'd be a rotation guy. Yeah, he'd be a rotation guy.
He might be a 7 or 6 but also keep this in mind. There's more talented players in the world today. Period.
Right.
But why is that? Well, one, because more people are playing basketball because of the popularity of the sport globally. But also, since 1990, do you know how many more people there are on this planet?
Let's see. Probably 150 million more.
Try 2 billion.
2 billion.
Yeah,
since 1990, the population of the Earth has grown from 6 to 8 billion. So yeah, when you take a sport and make it global in the 90s, and you add 2 billion people, there's gonna be a lot more talented people.
There's gonna be a couple 6 or 7 foot tall dudes out there.
There's a lot more talented people.
Yeah,
there you go. We just debunked that one too. Whoever thought
that was
we're debunking stuff all over the place.
Okay, Gail is greater than JJ. Facts or not?
Yeah. Facts.
Yep.
Aramis Jones. When I came into the league, I went to a blue collar team that worked extremely hard. That was the norm. Practicing hard, 2 days. 2-a-day training camp, and that was the norm for me, and I enjoyed it, and I loved it because it helped me prepare mentally. So kind of what we were talking about, like playing early on too.
Yeah.
But that's
There's
typical. Like part 2. It helped me prepare physically for my body for what was to come, a long season. And I think now teams don't really practice. We're not getting up and down. It's a lost art when it comes to a hard practice.
Yeah, that's why the guys like Pat Riley, like Thibodeau, they becoming dinosaurs, man, because running these guys, it's souring these guys to these kind of coaches. So yeah, the fun of practicing hard, those things are gone.
Part 3, and I think that's why there's so many injuries, because guys will have a high-low day and then a completely off day and then a high-low day when back then it was your practice hard.
Yeah.
We got to just bring Aramis Joe sometimes. Just
seriously, no. You have
I'll do part 4. You practice hard. You got a game. Then you might have a day off. Then you come right back to it. So I feel like your body just built the calluses. Yeah, that you were. Hold on, that's part 4.
Yeah.
Let me hit part 5 real quick. Where is it? I love our chat, but there we go. Go ahead. You can take that.
Okay, a long and rough season to where there weren't so many injuries because there weren't times to take a load off because you felt good to play. And I think now it's tough because it's almost the
what?
Oh, is he typing?
No, almost. No, that's it. And then so this was the Paul George excerpt from the podcast.
Thank you.
That's gonna be some good. That's gonna be a good watch.
I'm gonna watch it.
Definitely. Bring our thoughts next week, but I guess look, any of these things that we're talking about, like depending on what aspect you look at it, like there's pros and cons to everything, but I think that's a good explanation. YT said it was the maximum. We appreciate Aramis.
Aramis is like, I can't keep super chat. No, don't worry, bro.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, go ahead. Angie Carr, just a different voice. Another big what if is Ben Wilson from Chicago.
He was on his way to being something special. He got shot in 1984. He was best high school player in the country, and he was basically the biggest deal coming out of high school. And if he was playing today, he would have went right to the pros. He wouldn't have went to college, and he ended up getting killed. He's definitely one of those what if guys. He was awesome.
Next week, because I know that we're low on time. But next week, we're going to keep going through your super chats. I know Hailey's got to leave in about 10 minutes. But next week, can we do just a piece? Because I think he deserves more than just a flyby on Pee Wee Kirkland.
Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee Kirkland,
like
I don't know.
15-minute intro.
Yeah, like just I think not enough people talk about him who was like this amazing basketball player and then decided, I'm just gonna go back and
he was a street dude. He wanted to be a street dude. Yeah, he wanted to be a street dude, but he was also an awesome basketball player. Awesome.
So Ja, basically what Ja's like trying to reach for right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could talk about it. Yeah.
Out of Ja.
Oh man, Double P, just curious, did you like the Kobe Eminem comparison and Wilt Rakim? Do you think these are valid? Okay, so you said Kobe Eminem because of the technicality of it.
I like the Kobe and Eminem because I think,
too.
in the sense that those are two guys that people don't want to mess with. So I like that one. The Wilt Rakim doesn't work for me only because Rakim for me is the GOAT and Wilt isn't the GOAT for me. So that's why it doesn't work for me.
Why isn't the GOAT Wilt for anyone? Does anyone do like old guys have, like
Wilt isn't the GOAT, I think, for a lot of people, because he had a guy and a team that dominated him.
Yeah.
In terms of, like when they played the Celtics won all the time. He has a 2-6 or 2-4, 2-6 record in the finals. So he's got a losing record. And he was thought to be very selfish, one-dimensional. And you want to talk about stat padding, right? Sure. Here's a guy that played every single
Wilt
minute.
Was the equivalent, the epitome of that. If he played that, that's all y'all would talk about. If Wilt was playing today, he's stat padding. Even though,
I think part of it goes to, and it shouldn't, but I think also people judge people based on their personalities.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a likable guy, so as the years went on,
he was not.
As the years went on, the people who saw him and didn't like him passed that on. The media passed that on. Didn't like him. So it just grew and grew and grew, and he became this mythological player that had all these crazy stats, but also this jerk that no one liked. So it made it.
It's just
tough.
People don't have him like in their top 10. So I just wondered, but I mean that makes sense.
Who doesn't have him in his top 10?
Yeah, people don't have him. I got him top 5.
Top 10. Oh, that I didn't know that. I thought they had him. Everybody
maybe
had him.
Not most. 10. I shouldn't speak for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys let us know in the chat, but there's a lot of people I don't think that do.
Wow.
Wilt the legend.
There you go.
Okay, Hunter again on the panel. The title is named after the Knicks, and y'all barely talked about them. Second hottest team in basketball right now. Jalen Brunson, East player. Oh yeah, Eastern Player of the Month, and Knicks are a scary team. I did see that. We
did talk about the Knicks. Yes, we did. Yes, we did talk about the Knicks and Julius Randle. And not only did we talk about the Knicks and Julius Randle, Hunter, I had to listen to Mars tell me that he got 40 players better than Julius Randle. I almost blew a gasket when he said that, because I don't think that I'm having a difficult time coming up with 40 players better than Julius Randle. Yes, we absolutely did talk about the Knicks. Yes, we did. No question about it.
Go back. What's the episode, Hunter? Maybe it was. Maybe
yeah,
it
I
wasn't.
think we did talk about it last week.
Just this Tuesday, we just talked about that.
Oh. Okay. Melo Williams. Andre Kirilenko was a slept-on player for his time. I don't know.
He wasn't. No, he was not. No, he was not. Andre, see, here's the thing, man. We live in a time now where people want to bring up people like they were like that, like everybody else. Andre Kirilenko was an awesome defender. Andre Kirilenko was a good scorer. Is Andre Kirilenko an all-time great player? No, he is not. Was Andre Kirilenko an elite player? I don't think he ever made the All-NBA team. I think he made the All-Star team one time. He's not slept on. He was on that Utah Jazz team, and they were a big team.
What?
I feel like AK-47 is the defensive version of Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis is offense, AK-47 is defense. That's it. That's who that just. It's a mirror image.
The idea. It's not that he wasn't all that. I just don't want to make this dude out to be more than what he was. And Andre Kirilenko was awesome. No question about that. Yeah. But ain't nobody sleeping on him. No, nobody is sleeping on him. We shouldn't be. I completely disagree. It ain't like we should be talking about this dude. Like we talk about. No,
I know you disagree with. I know you disagree with Melo. I'm asking, do you agree with me that AK-47 is the defensive version of Porzingis?
So you think he's a better version? So you think he's a better version?
So Porzingis is known as an offensive unicorn. Yeah. AK-47 was the same, but defense only, no offense.
No, because Karolinko could score the basketball, but defensively he was really good.
Dunks count as scoring now. That's what we're doing.
I mean, he was a really good transition player. But the idea that he slept on, like we shouldn't be talking about this dude like we talk about Dirk. We shouldn't be talking about this dude like we talk about great power forwards because he wasn't that good. No, he wasn't.
Was he as good as Draymond?
Everyone's better than Draymond.
Everybody, if you let them tell it, yeah.
Draymond stinks. He's not even a Hall of Famer.
Okay, Double P. Just remember President Nixon called the moon when there were no cell phones. Makes you wonder since my 5G still lags, lost.
Just remember President Nixon called the moon when there was no cell phones. Makes you wonder since my 5G still lags. Facts.
Yep. See, this is the door you're opening, Fluent.
Just remember the flag. When the flag is waving, how is the sun on the left and the shadow should be to the right, but instead the shadow goes to the left? It makes no damn sense.
So according to you guys, he wasn't there. No Neil Armstrong. One small.
Okay, let me ask you this. About 10 people are going to drop off the viewership here once I say this, but I don't care. Check this out. What's more realistic? Russia and the US are having a space race to see who can get to the moon first. And for years and years and years and years and years, they can't do it. And just when Russia's this close, the US got there and ends the space race. Or is it more believable that, hey, they wanted to put an end to the space race and the Cold War, so they just shot it on a soundstage and said, hey, we're there. Don't stop trying. Let's work on something else.
That part is not believable. That he shot it on the soundstage. I'm not buying that. I'm not even close to buying that.
Since you like evidence, one of the astronauts said that's what happened.
Yeah, because how much did they pay him afterwards?
I don't know if it was Buzz or the other dude. I don't know.
Neil Armstrong.
I don't know if it was Buzz, Neil, Woody. I don't know.
No, I'm not buying that. No,
so this guy's getting to your head, I think.
Flat Earth Dave.
Flat Earth Dave. Okay, Alex L. Will spent his whole career comparing himself to Bill and Kareem. Always made himself look second best. Wait.
By doing that, by comparing himself to Bill and Kareem. Yeah. Well,
I mean, at that time, did he have a problem doing that?
A lot of it was because people didn't like Wilt for that reason right there. So he had to continuously tell people how good he was because people forgot.
The smartest man in the chat.
Straight away, Jordan Alder
Rufus.
Why have we never gone back if we've actually been there?
Facts.
What are you talking about?
The moon.
No one's ever gone back?
When we
gone back?
No. When? Who else has been on the moon?
Nobody.
People have been back to the moon.
Who?
I don't know. I just feel
you're like a basketball casual. I don't know, but someone did.
No. I'm a flat Earth casual, no doubt about that. I'll admit that, but oh wow.
America has not been back to the moon since 1969. That has not happened.
Since 1969.
That's never happened.
You're telling me no billionaire, no trillionaire wants to build a little cabin up there to hang out? Come on. And meanwhile, hold on, check this out. So we can't go back onto the moon and hang out, but we found another Earth. Did you guys see this, by the way?
No.
Go Google that. I know we're not gonna talk about it now. Go Google it. They found another planet that has all the same characteristics as the Earth. No, this is real. No, this is from NASA. This is real. If you believe NASA.
First of all, when they said Pluto wasn't a planet anymore, I was done with NASA. So.
No, they didn't say it wasn't a dwarf planet. It's so small. It's a dwarf planet.
Hey. They said it was a star. That's
what they said.
I'm out.
They've reclassified it as a dwarf planet.
I don't care. It's not a star.
Let's make sure we get to the bottom of that right there. It's not that.
In the sky.
If you want to call it something else, you could call it something else, but it's definitely not that. I'm out. If you're calling it that, I'm out.
Yeah,
definitely
it's Pluto. Give him his respect. Okay. God Shammagod had one of those filthiest crossovers in basketball.
He's got a move named after him. So I mean, that's all.
Yeah, if you have a move named after you, yes, you got handles.
I mean,
yes.
What else can you say about God Shammagod? They got a move named after him. If you ever seen it, it's when Ginobili comes down and he puts the ball in his left hand. If he's coming down on the left side and he puts the ball in his left hand and then he snatches it away with his right hand and goes the other way. That's the sham dog. Yeah, that's the sham dog. Yeah.
Oh, did we?
A reading rainbow. We're singing along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, double PM.
Well, this is the wrong one. I put up the wrong one, but that's okay. Keep going.
Okay, I'm going to defend my guy, Will Bill, but Russell himself said he couldn't defend Will the same way twice. So I don't know if dominate is a right word.
Russ was just on a better team. That's all it was. Nothing
Russ
more
was on a significantly better team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was on a better team. Wilt
Please, Diggy. Hell no, the UFOs aren't with me.
With us.
So I ain't with them.
I ain't effing with them.
True that. Like, what are those things that, like, there's
We're going to change this to Fluent and Chill, sports and pop culture. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no. 3,200. The whole convo was about Randall, not the Knicks. Mars and Lowe was nasty for the Randall disrespect, and Knicks are a team everybody want to avoid in the playoffs? Are they?
Did you say playoffs?
Wait, did he say everybody wants to avoid in the playoffs?
Everybody wants the Knicks in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Randall is not a superstar. He is a star, but he's not a superstar. Brunson is nice, but he's nothing to be afraid of. And even though RJ is Chill's guy,
I haven't heard much from him this season.
You're not worried about RJ, man.
I haven't heard much from him. And the conversation was about Randall. The conversation turned to Randall because we were talking about the Knicks in the playoffs and what Randall had done in the playoffs. That's when it turned to Mars and Dub telling me that there's 40 players in the NBA better than Julius Randle. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I ain't going that far.
I'm upset that I just said that about the Knicks, but not throwing shade at you guys. Just want my boys to receive love. The media don't want to give them. Keep making them more fluent.
It's like the Kings. It's like the Kings. It's the Western Conference Kings. Like you're not gonna.
You know what? I'm mad at the Knicks. Okay, so Hunter, just so you know, I'm mad at the Knicks. It's no disrespect, and I'm mad at James Dolan because he's not hiring me as the GM. And I promise you, as a Knicks fan, you want me as the GM because I will make them an NBA champion. And if I don't, I give all the money back to you guys, the fans. Forget giving it back to James Dolan. I've changed it. I'm giving it back to the fans. I want the Knicks to be relevant.
Yeah.
The league is better when they're relevant.
Angie Carr, well, basketball's roots are in Kansas. A Canadian, James Naismith, was your creator. Fluent, great ancestor.
Yes. As you know, my name is Anthony K. Naismith. Like, you think it's a coincidence? That's my name. Look it up. Yeah, James Naismith. You know, since she's giving out facts, let me give you one. In the history of Kansas University basketball, only one coach in the history of Kansas has a losing record as their head basketball coach. Do you know who it is?
James Naismith.
James Naismith.
Really?
The only one, the guy that invented the damn game, is the only one that's a losing record. And don't let him fool you. I told him that before. That's why he knew the answer.
I did not. That's lies.
I did. That's where you liar.
Melo Williams, any Eastern Conference team is smoking the Knicks. Yes,
I agree. Any Western team is smoking the Knicks. All right.
Definitely.
So Hailey, you gotta run.
I do, you guys. Thank you for today. We got into some great conversation. We'll be back next week, definitely. And I mean, I'm excited. There's a lot of close teams this week. So as the games progress, we're gonna see some teams take a step up, including the Dubs. So that's all I gotta say.
H Boogie.
Bye guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
More fluent.